University Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the south campus of the University of New Mexico. ProView Networks and My50 proudly present the University of New Mexico football. Tonight, the season opener, the Lobos and the Houston Baptist Huskies. Good evening and welcome to University Stadium. However it is you're joining us, it is our pleasure to welcome you to college football and welcome college football back to University Stadium. Jeff Symbieta along with former Lobo linebacker George Carter. It's been a long time, George. We've been through a lot, but for the first time in 642 days, there's college football in this stadium. There's fans in this stadium. Opening day is always a big deal. You played, I know the first game was always big. For these two teams, even bigger. Lobos haven't played here in 642 days, but they played a season last year. They played 7 games. The Huskies haven't played since October 5th. They played an abbreviated 4-game schedule last year. Southland Conference didn't play. I got to believe these two teams, every one of them is just dying to hit someone in a different color shirt.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is just chomping at the bit. I was down at the field a bit more before the game, and I mean, the energy down there is just electric. People are excited to be here. They're excited to hit a guy in a different color jersey. Last season was just such a unique year in college sports. I mean, for everyone in general.
Don't have health insurance.
This is time. It's football season again. Fall's in the air. Let's go.
Always uncertainty on opening day. There'll be a lot of questions. Hopefully you answer some of them, maybe even more that arise from today. But one thing that's not a question, and for Lobo fan, they're not used to this. They know who their quarterback is. There's certainty at quarterback. You've got a guy in Terry Wilson who is a 6-year super senior who transfers in from the SEC, came from Kentucky, won 2 bowl games at Kentucky, won a lot of games. Transfers to New Mexico. Not only has he been sensational on the field, in the locker room, instant credibility, and he earned this team's respect the day he stepped in the door.
Yes, sir. I mean, the athletic ability of Terry Wilson is one thing, but just the leadership and the maturity that he brings to this team and to this university is massive. And I know Terry's only going to be here for 1 season, but I do think that the impact he's going to have on this program is going to be lasting.
There's the Houston Baptist Huskies coming onto the field. Lobos about ready to enter. They will be led by players. Danny Gonzalez says, I'm going to walk on behind them. I'm not leading them out. This is their team. As Danny Gonzalez plays and coaches his first game at his alma mater as a head coach on this field. Now the defense for New Mexico, Rocky Long, back at his alma mater for his 2nd year as a defensive coordinator. We talked to him yesterday. He said, look, a lot of these guys are the same guys. Are they better football players? In Rocky's way, he says, I don't know. He says, hopefully they've got the scheme better. What I know is I've watched Rocky Long defenses for a long time. You played in a Rocky Long defense. This is proven, and I got to believe the defense is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, no question. I mean, same guys, but they know what they're doing now. They know schematically where they fit, where the other 10 guys on the ball also fit. And this defense is incredibly complex. And so I know Coach Long has talked a lot about only having about 70% of this system installed, but that's still going to give you a wide breadth of the capabilities. And I'm really excited to see what these guys do this year.
All right, who is Houston Baptist? I know a lot of people are not familiar with the program. They play Division I football in the FCS. They play in the Southland Conference. This is a young program. They started up in 2013. Vic Shealy has been their coach the entire time. He spent some time at Air Force. He spent some time at UNLV. He's very familiar with the University of New Mexico, this building, and certainly with Rocky Long and Danny Gonzalez. Now, last year they went 1-3. They played Texas Tech to within 2 points. You said, what? That Texas Tech? Yes, that Texas Tech had a chance to beat them. They played competitively with North Texas, and they played competitively with Louisiana Tech. Now, it's a different team. They lost their offensive coordinator, their quarterback, their top 3 receivers. But this is a team where I got to believe they're going to spread it out. They'll be fast, and everything I've seen, they're going to be athletic.
Yeah, just like the majority of college football, these guys are moving to an air raid offense, so we're going to be seeing the ball in the air quite a bit tonight. But their new starting quarterback has had a history of running the ball. Of his 7 plays that he had last year, 6 of them were him toting the rock, and he has 1 attempt. But going back and looking at the high school film, he can play a little bit of ball now, and he can let this ball go. And so in this air raid offense, expect them to spread the Lobos out quite a bit, but we may see some run game peppered in there now with this quarterback having some running ability.
All right, Houston Baptist, as you see, will receive. The Lobos will be kicking and starting on defense. This is a big night for Danny Gonzalez. Guy you played for, a guy you know well, George. Danny, I firmly believe right now is the most popular guy in town. Hadn't lost a game yet. He's been everywhere. He's done everything right. I don't care if you know him, if you're a Lobo fan or not. the story, I don't know how you don't get behind it. The story of a young man who grew up in Albuquerque at Valley High School, walked on, played here, has earned his way up the ranks, and now is head coach and finally getting to coach a game on the sidelines at the University of New Mexico.
Yeah, what an incredible story, right? I was reading an article earlier this week about Coach G, and he was talking about his experience at Duke's games and going to the pit and sitting in row one, way up top up in the rafters. And I mean, just having that type of experience and that type of buy-in from this community is so important. And I think that's going to be one thing that's going to be really unique for Coach G in this position, and his ability to be able to bring the community in, but also build a football program.
Yeah, I think it's so exciting for him, and I'm excited for him, if that makes any sense to you. To watch a young man who's getting this opportunity and has handled it and done everything the right way, And now he's got to go out and win football games. He said, look, there's a habit of losing around here. Losing is a habit, and we have a habit of losing, and that has got to end. And they're hoping that it ends tonight. George Steinkamp will kick off for the University of New Mexico. Houston Baptist will send a couple of guys deep, and we will get started. It is going to be Tyson Thompson deep for Houston Baptist. Steinkamp to put his foot in the ball. George, we're going to play some football around here. How about that? You ready for that?
Yes, sir.
Ian Beek, Tyson Thompson back there to return the kick from Steinkamp. Football at University Stadium is underway as Thompson takes it at the goal line and brings it out. Across the 15, ball is loose. It is picked up by Houston Baptist. Boy, there was a chance to make a hit. I didn't see who made the hit.
What a pop.
But whoever made the hit's got a tongue on their helmet already. You get a helmet sticker. How about that to start?
Talk about setting the tone. I mean, you bust that receiver as he's catching that ball. As soon as he lands in his hands, that's the way you want to start a game.
Boy, that is exactly what UNM is looking for in Danny Gonzalez. Blaise Benson is the quarterback for Houston Baptist. A 6'5", 225-pound sophomore. Listen to a sophomore, but pretty much a freshman. Took a few snaps last year. They're going to spread this thing out. They're going to throw it around, and that's what they plan to do. Nobody in the backfield for Benson. Two-step drop, flips it out to the far side. That's Tyson Thompson who gets loose, squirts across the 20, out of bounds at about the 21. It'll be good enough for a first down. Call it the 20-yard line, 12 yards on their first play, and that's how they're going to get this young man going.
And talking to Coach Long, anticipating these early quick passes out to the edges, getting it into the hands of receivers, and building a little bit of confidence for that quarterback.
Ian Beek, the running back, another quick throw out and dropped on the far side. Dropped by number 17, Ishmael Fuller, and so we'll go to second down. They ran about 90 plays a game, and so put that into perspective for fans sitting at home. How many do you normally run? 70, 75 is a good number on offense.
Yeah,
right?
that's a really high number, and they were averaging about 460 yards through the air last year, so this team can get and move the ball down the field.
Flips it out to the right side this time and almost picked off. Almost picked off twice. Jumping the route for New Mexico was Ray Luatelli. Almost in his hands, and then it was almost caught on the deflection by Corey Hightower. Luatelli, who's playing that middle linebacker spot, jumped the route, and they had two shots. That's 3 shots already New Mexico's had at a turnover.
And when you talk about Ray and his ability, and you sit down and you talk with Coach Long about him, he is incredibly instinctual when he plays the game of football. So like we saw right there, he was able to jump out into that passing lane, get his hands on the ball. Look out for that as the game progresses.
Third down and 10 for the Huskies. They need the 30-yard line to continue their drive. Beek checks in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the quarterback, Blaise Benson. Lobo's got to bring pressure now, right? But the question is, where is it coming from? Benson's flush, throws across his body. This one is intercepted. That one is intercepted.
Luatelli right there. We were just talking about his instinct and his ability to be around the ball. There you go, partner.
Ray Luatelli, who had a shot on the last play, jumps in front of this. Lobos swarming. Look, they've got 1 turnover officially, but they've had an opportunity at 3 and 4 different opportunities to turn the ball over, and they do quickly. How about this field position for the first possession for Terry Wilson.
This is exactly what you asked for. I mean, you're giving the offense a short field, got a momentum change early in the game. This Lobo defense has started out with the physicality that we were expecting. Now let's see what the offense can do.
Terry Wilson comes out. Bobby Cole wears number 34. He will be the setback. 3 receivers to the near side. And the senior quarterback from Oklahoma City via Kentucky takes his first snap as a Lobo. Gives it off, and there's a reverse, and that's Trey Hall. Hall looking to throw to Wilson. He does. Quarterback to quarterback. That's exactly what you expected on the first play, isn't it? Let's run a reverse to our other quarterback who throws back to our first quarterback and get a 5-yard gain.
A little bit of trickeration, and we saw them working on this play earlier in the week in practice, and Coach Wareheim talked a bit about that we would have some packages where we might see a couple quarterbacks on the field, and hey, how about that? In your first play from the line of scrimmage, you put both QBs out there.
Everybody's set wide now for Terry Wilson. Now Cole comes back in and checks in. Second down. Pitch to Bobby Cole, who's got some room on the outside, the 15, at the 10. Bobby Cole run out of bounds at the 6, maybe the 5-yard line. Brennan Young there on the stop for the Huskies. It'll be first down and goal for New Mexico at the 6.
In the patience of Bobby Cole, he was able to sit there, wait for that block to get out in front of him, and then boom, he explodes. Gotta love the way that this guy sees the football field.
First down goal for the Lobos. We've played about a minute and a half. They've forced a turnover on defense, run 2 plays offensively, 3 receivers wide to the right now. Terry Wilson barking out instructions. He's got one guy down at the bottom. Now you got a delay. Delay of game is going to be called. You saw him doing a whole lot of stuff, really moving a lot of guys around, and they're going to back him up 5 yards. What happens there?
It's a little bit of first game jitters. I think you sometimes lose sight of where you are and what's happening on the field, and you're getting close to a TD here, and so looks like Terry just let the play clock get away from him a little bit, but I think he'll settle back in here.
All right, so Terry Wilson now backs up first down and goal. It'll be at the 11. You change the play? Probably, right? Yep, change formation. Wilson rolls left, looks right, throws back across for a wide open touchdown, New Mexico. Touchdown, Lobos. Well, 11-yard touchdown pass. Terry Wilson rolls to his left, looks to his right, and hello now. Kyle Jarvis will wear number 5 instead of 85. Where'd you find that piece of paper?
They're switching it up on us a little bit here, partner. But, man, great play design. Coach Wareheim talked about that a lot yesterday, using these tight ends in the offense, having them get lost in the mix a bit, and there you go.
Extra point is good. We have played just over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 10 seconds in. Lobos have their first score. Kyle Jarvis on an 11-yard touchdown from Terry Wilson. Lobos lead Houston Baptist 7-0 here at University Stadium. Back at University Stadium where the Lobos force a turnover on the first Houston Baptist possession. An interception by Ray Luatele, and they go 4 plays. Terry Wilson threw a touchdown pass to Kyle Jarvis, 11 yards. And UNM's got a 7-0 lead. George Steinkamp will kick off for New Mexico. You got to love everything you're seeing so far.
Yeah, if you're Coach Gonzalez, you're very happy with the start of this game so far. Your team is coming out. They're playing at the level that you expected them to. It's been a good start for the Lobos.
Thompson will watch it go over his head for a touchback. Steinkamp kicks it through the end zone. So a great start for the defense. They forced a fumble. Houston Baptist recovered on the opening kickoff. Had an opportunity interception on the second down play, and then the interception on the third down play. So far, you got to be thrilled if you're Rocky Long in the defense. Blaise Benson comes out for his second run. This is his first start for this young man, and he's 6'5", 220-something. And I think both Rocky Long and Danny Gonzalez, he's a big sucker.
He's a big guy. And he has a big running back there, too, 6'2", 235. They got some big boys who can carry a load now.
The give is to Ian Beek, who comes off the left side and is dropped. After a short game, Tavian Combs comes up from the Lobo position to make the tackle for New Mexico.
And Tavian Combs is going to be a big part of this defense. He's transitioned into the Lobo spot. He was one of the leading tacklers on the team last year, expecting big things from him this season.
Benson quick, gets it out of his hands again, short, tried to get it out off to the left side, was looking for Dante Martin, short hopped him, and it's going to be second down and long again for this young quarterback. Look, if you are Houston Baptist and Vic Shealy, the last thing you want to do is put your young quarterback in third and long all night.
Yeah, he doesn't look too comfortable back there yet. His feet are still fairly choppy. He's not able to go through his progressions, but you got to credit some of that Lobo defense for that as well.
Figure they're going to be coming on this one. Back to throw and looks, throws it to the left side and incomplete. Looking once again for Dante Martin. It's going to be fourth down, and they're going to have to kick. Dante Martin on the coverage for New Mexico. Dante Martin on the coverage. So they will kick it. Back deep for New Mexico will be Manny Logan Green, a speedster, a playmaker. Running the clock down. They better snap it or they're going to get a delay. They just get it off. Manny Logan Green back at the 32, waves for a fair catch and takes it at about the 30-yard line. That's where the Lobos will set up shop for their second possession. Terry Wilson brings him back out. So far, perfect. Everything you can want. How much do you expect to see? How much, George, do you expect to see him mix up? We asked Danny yesterday, what do you expect? Will he throw it more? Will he run more? He says, ideally, we're going to go 50-50.
Yeah, and it's, Terry's one of those types of quarterbacks where, Rob Portnoy, the radio guy, he loves to talk about Terry being a triple threat, right? He can run the ball, he can pass the ball, but he also has escapability in the pocket.
Flips it out quickly to Manny Logan Green on the near side. Manny's got some room. Dragged down finally after a gain of 11 yards. Looked like Carter Couch making the run back to get him. So first down, Manny's second touch after the fair catch. Cole comes in, or stays in, is the back. Fake to Manny Logan Green. The flip comes to the near side, and that is complete. Stumbling for the first down is Trace Bruckler, one of the tight ends. You're going to see 4 tight ends most likely today, George. They love the depth at that position. They love Bruckler. They've got so many young tight ends. Yeah, and Buckler's one of these true freshmen on this offensive side of the ball that has really made some waves this camp. Talked to Coach Wareheim, and he was talking about him having a really big game tonight, so we'll see what we got. Terry goes under center for the first time, gives it to Cole. Cole bounces his way for a first down, picks up the one, then another, so a 2-yard gain for Bobby, and it's a first down, New Mexico at the 49-yard line. First time we've seen him go under center. Yeah, we don't see that much in this type of offense. But again, Coach Wareheim talked a lot yesterday about how he wanted to mix it up. A lot of different formations, a lot of different personnel groupings. We've seen that thus far. First down for the Lobos. Wilson flips it out to the far side. Getting loose and out to the 35-yard line is Luke Wysong. Young Luke Wysong. You're going to see a lot of Luke. And I asked Terry about a week and a half ago, do you have a favorite receiver yet? We asked Danny yesterday, does he have a favorite receiver? And it's this freshman from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Luke Wysong, family of former Lobo players, played with some of his brothers here at UNM, and he is just outstanding. Was an incredible player here at the high school level, and it's been a great thing to see him be able to transition that here to UNM. You being a former Albuquerque football player, we'll get into that in a moment, as Terry drops straight back this time. Looks, has time, now flips it out to the right side. It is complete. That's Jarvis who takes the hit after a gain of about 5. You played at Albuquerque High. Danny talks so much about the local guys, the in-state kids. There's a guy from the metro area. I know that means a lot more to you guys, doesn't it? A ton. I mean, there's so much pride being a local guy playing here at the University of New Mexico. Historically, there haven't been a lot of guys who have gotten scholarships out of school, out of high school, right, they tell you that have come here to play. Exactly. You come here, you walk on, and you get a scholarship later. But there is a lot of pride for the local guys here. Bobby Cole on the delayed handoff. He goes nowhere. Delvin Mason wrapped him up. Maybe he got a yard, but I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage. So Lobos, for the first time, are going to face a third down. 3rd down and 5 for New Mexico. Got to get the 26-yard line to keep the drive alive. Lobos could go 4 deep at running back. I think we'll see some Aaron Dumas. It's been all Bobby Cole so far. Wilson gets somebody moved down low. So
it was Manny Logan Green. Yeah. Little too quick to get out of that break there.
So that'll back it up. It'll make it 3rd down. They'll call it 11. And that'll change what you're doing here. I don't know. Are you looking at this part of the field, this part of the game? 4 down territory to you?
I think it's a little too early to start going 4 down territory. I think depending on what you can do on 3rd down here, if you can make it a 4th and very manageable, 4th and 2, 4th and 1, I think it makes some sense. But here, if you're able to get in the field goal range, take the points.
Wilson looks left, flips it across. It is complete to Luke Wysong. Luke gets down to the 25-yard line. 1st down, New Mexico. They needed 11. They got 11. Right at the number at the 26. They needed 11. They got 11. Go to Luke Wysong.
Go. There's Luke showing up. I mean, again, the coaching staff has talked all about him throughout this year, about getting some reps, and here he is showing up. He already has 2 receptions in the game, and he's really shifty.
Now he's lined up in the backfield. Look, that's a tough finish, right? He knew where he needed to go and fought through the tackle and got to exactly where he needed to go. Fake the give to Manny Logan Green. Terry's looking deep over the middle. It is caught by Wysong. Juggling catch down to the 4-yard line. 1st down, New Mexico.
And what I love, again, about this offense, right, they are able to mix and match this personnel. Wysong was lined up in the backfield there, ran a little wheel route outside. No one covered him. And personnel-wise, if you're a linebacker, who covers this guy? And there he is running up the seam of the field.
Ball was a little high, got both hands on it. That is a terrific grab by Wysong. 1st and goal for the Lobos. They're at the 4. Cole's the back. Wilson fakes it to him, flips it to the near side. It is caught. Touchdown, New Mexico. Trace Buckler, the tight end, on the reception. 4 yards. Terry Wilson to Trace Buckler, and the Lobos are up 13-0.
Again, fantastic play call. Coach Wareheim is really dialed in down here at the goal line, bringing Buckler all the way across the formation, a little bit of play action, and then boom, he opens right up on the hash mark.
We were wondering who the kicker would be. Andrew Shelley is on for the conversion as he was last time. The kick is up, and it is good. So Lobos have gone 2 for 2 on drives, 2 touchdowns. Finish off with this beauty. Terry Wilson to Trace Buckler, 4 yards. We got 8:16 to go. 1st quarter here at University Stadium. The Lobos lead the Huskies 14-0. 14-0 New Mexico, just getting started on this season. So good to be back in University Stadium. And Lobo fan has to be fired up with what they see. 2 touchdowns early and on 2 drives, 2 Terry Wilson touchdowns. That was Trace Buckler with the touchdown, the young tight end. 14-0 Lobos. That is Thompson receiving the kickoff at the goal line and taking it out about the 20-yard line, where he's greeted by, it looks like everybody but 2 of the guys out there. There's 9 dudes out there that greeted him. And that's where young Blaise Benson will set up shop for Houston Baptist. Jeff Symbieta, George Carter, glad you're with us on My 50 and the Mountain West Network. So good to be back in a stadium with people and football in it.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man, there's a little bit of a nip in the air. It's just that time of year. Again, the football season was just so different last year. I've been excited for football season since like June of this year, so let's go.
Here we are. Blaise Benson's 1 for 3. This is the 3rd possession for Houston Baptist. He flips it out to the far side to Meeks. And the running back on the wheel route takes it out to about the 29. They'll call it the 28. Gain of 8. Ian Beek, not Meeks. Ian Beek is the running back who caught that pass. And it feels like they're still trying to get the young quarterback settled. You're obviously getting it out of his hands early.
Yeah, they're getting the ball out of his hands early, but UNM's doing a good job of getting some pressure up front, and they're playing a lot of man coverage right now, and so they're moving around pre-snap, and so this defense, again, with its ability to be somewhat complex, if you can disguise it right, you can confuse some quarterbacks, and I think that's what we're seeing here.
We've got a timing issue? No, there'll be a penalty on New Mexico. Oh, no, they placed the ball in the wrong spot. That's all. When was the last time you saw that? All the officials put the ball down. It's like, wait a minute, man. We got all the way out to the 29. Why give us the credit for our 9 yards?
Hey, even these guys can make mistakes, too.
I get it. It's early now. It's opening day for everybody. I get it.
Yeah.
Ian Beek is in the backfield now. Let's see if they just give it to him and try to get the first down and give himself a little love. They do. He comes off the right side and does not get there because there was beautiful penetration by Ray Luatele again. I know we're early. We haven't played half the first quarter, but that young man's having a night.
He's having himself a night, and he's got some big shoes to fill, right? Brandon Shook was the leading tackler on this Lobo defense last year. Now Ray steps in, and early on in this game, he's really establishing himself as a leader and a playmaker.
Now it's 3rd down and 2. They just tried to run for it. Let's see what they do as Benson brings a man in motion to the near side. Gives it to Beek, and he goes nowhere. Look at the penetration by Sire Riley. The right linebacker breaking through and stuffing the run. A 3-yard loss. It'll force 4th down and force Houston Baptist to punt.
Yeah, Benson's not doing a lot of pre-check stuff, and the Houston Baptist offense is one of those offenses who checks back at the sideline, see what's going on. And they haven't been doing too much audible, and so I'm surprised he didn't check out of that play.
So they are going to have to punt. Houston Baptist will punt. Manny Logan Green back to receive it. Brady Buell is the punter. This one not as high, not as good, not as deep, and everybody's getting away from it. And it'll go out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. So it did its job. Not a beautiful punt, but it got it out of there. Boy, there's Houston Baptist. They get a nice first down play. And then they can't do anything with it, and that's credit to 2 wonderful plays by the Lobo defense.
Yeah, I mean, this Lobo defense is locked in so far. They are executing as planned. That last play, you had about 5 guys up at the line of scrimmage and then sent the linebacker at the end, so you had all the gaps covered up, and that's how they're able to get guys into the backfield. If the offensive line hasn't done their checks pre-snap, you're going to have some free rushers in that backfield, and that's what we've been seeing here.
Aaron Dumas, the kid from El Paso, number 22, checks in. Bobby Cole may take this series off. Boy, but he's been terrific too. Everybody who's played for New Mexico so far has been, I don't know, pretty much terrific. 6:25 to go, first quarter. Lobos lead 14-0. Wilson in an empty backfield. Trips tight to the left. That's Dumas in motion, now steps to the left hip of Wilson. Fake to him. Wilson gets away, rolls right. Has time, throws right side. It is complete. It's going to go for, it looks like it's going to go for a first down. Complete.
And that was a nice job by CJ. As he saw Terry scrambling, he flattened out his route a little bit so he could open up and find one of those holes within the zone. And boom, there you go, first down Lobos.
Vernon Harrell, his first reception for a first down. Little inside pitch to Wysong. Boy, they just are going to try to get it to him however they can. Luke Wysong's going to lose 2 yards. Brennan Young, the linebacker, busted through to make the tackle. The first tackle for loss for the Huskies. And the Lobos will face 2nd down and 12. Surprised you're seeing a few little reverses, trick plays. Certainly the first play, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting game thus far from Coach Wareheim in terms of his calls.
There's Aaron Dumas' first handoff. The young man from El Paso busts across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Kyler Baugh made the stop. He'll get out to about the 44. That'll be a gain of 8. Make it 3rd down and about 4 for New Mexico. They got to get to the 48-yard line.
And the thing I really liked about Aaron Dumas this week at practice is he's very patient. He has great vision in the field. You could see him kind of picking his spots there, and then boom, he just explodes through the hole.
And a freshman. Give? Nope, there is no give. Terry kept it. Thought about giving it, put it deep into the 2-2 of Aaron Dumas and decided to pull it out and keep it himself. Had nowhere to go. Maybe picked up a yard. It's going to force 4th down for New Mexico. The first time the Lobos are going to call upon Aaron Rodriguez, the punter, the transfer from Missouri. So Rodriguez will come on to punt. It'll be Tyson Thompson back to receive the punt for Houston Baptist. Rodriguez, a lot of guys from Missouri, a little Missouri University of Missouri pipeline coming in here, and I know you like that.
Indeed. I mean, we saw C.J. Boone on that series as well with a nice reception. We got Buford as well. I know he's been dealing with some back issues, but yeah, we're opening up some recruiting lanes there.
Fair catch. Thompson makes it at the 14-yard line. That's where Houston Baptist will set up shop when we come back. 4 minutes, 2 seconds to go. First quarter. Lobos lead Houston Baptist 14. Good time at the football game, isn't it? It's just good to be out and amongst people, and whoever's here is having a great time. Lobos lead Houston Baptist 14-0. Jefferson Beata, George Carter as Houston Baptist sets up shop for the 4th time. Correction on my part, I miscalled one of the receptions and didn't give C.J. Boone his credit for his first Lobo reception, number 13.
Give him his flowers, man.
Absolutely.
Give him his flowers.
Yeah, no, that's on me. And C.J., the transfer from Missouri, had his first reception on that last drive. That's Ian Beek, and he is absolutely dropped in the backfield on another terrific Lobo defensive play. Dante Martin streaking in, and another tackle for loss, a 3-yard loss, and a terrific play by Martin coming off the corner.
Yeah, beautiful instincts by Dante Martin there. He knew what was going on the entire time. He moved right past his block, and he was in the backfield there to make the play.
So now you got 2nd down and 13, and the young quarterback, Blaise Benson, playing from behind the sticks again. He keeps it, gets loose, runs over a man, and gets himself out to the 20-yard line. Looked like he ran right over Tavian Combs.
Yeah, and we knew that could happen, right? I mean, this is a big fella. He likes to run the ball. He'll put his shoulder down. He's not one of these quarterbacks who's going to shy away from contact. As you could see there, he will put his shoulder down and try to run you over.
You know, George, Rocky Long told us yesterday, he said this quarterback isn't afraid to be hit. And obviously he's not afraid to hit. He said he's a big sucker and isn't going to be afraid of physicality. And he ran right over one of the Lobos' best defensemen. Benson this time is going to throw it, or at least try to, but he cannot get away from the sack of Deion Hunter. Hunter comes in from linebacker, the first sack of the night. Deion Hunter wearing Bobby Santiago's old retired number, which came off of the rafters and onto his back. Earned it right there. Lobos get their first sack. Houston Baptist will punt again. And
this Lobo defense looks fantastic. And Coach Long is using a lot of rotations. In our conversation with him, he talked about having 6 or 7 guys on the defensive line rotating out, keeping those guys fresh. Same thing with the linebackers, having 3 of those guys, or 6 to 7 of those guys rotating through. So it's nice to see some depth on this Lobo defense.
Brady Buell punted out of his own end zone. He's getting used to punting. Manny Logan Green backs up, making a chance at this one. Takes it at the 30-yard line. Has a lot of room on the near side. Manny Logan Green can go. He's across the 50. Manny Logan Green stepped out of bounds at the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. A terrific return. Called the 38. Lobos will set up shop in positive territory once again.
And Manny Logan Green is one of the game breakers for this Lobo offensive unit, and you can see they put him out on the field to return kicks. They just want to get the ball in his hands, and as you can see in the open field, he is a tough man to bring down.
38-yard line is where Touchdown Terry will take over. You got a better nickname for him? I've heard Touchdown Terry a lot. I think at some point soon he's going to earn something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but there'll be something else. You got one in mind?
Well, if he keeps scoring these touchdowns, I don't mind Terry touchdown at all. We'll take it. We will take it.
Dumas is the running back with him on his left hip. Terry gives it to Aaron Dumas. Tries to shake free, but he cannot. Big number 90 Kyler Ball wrapped him up and wouldn't let him go. Give Dumas a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
And Ball is one of the guys on this Houston Baptist team that could be making some noise on this defensive line tonight. They've been a little slow to get started, but talking with Coach Jason Linsmeyer before the game here, we saw big number 9. He said that fella can play now.
6'3", 273 pounds. He's just a junior. An Oklahoma kid. A lot of Texas players on this team, as you would well imagine. 2nd and 9. Terry fakes the handoff, throws to Erickson on the right side. Ball's on the ground, and it looks like it is recovered by Houston Baptist. Andrew Erickson fumbled the football. I believe they will call that a completed catch, and it is recovered by Jordan Oliver, the left cornerback, a junior out of Richmond, Texas. The first turnover of the night for New Mexico, and it is Andrew Erickson.
And Andrew Erickson's usually old trusty. Talking again to Coach Wareheim over this past week, he said that's our guy. Whenever we need a catch, that's who we go to. So to see him drop the ball there.
Did he have possession?
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he has possession. I know Danny's probably getting that in his ear right now. And are they going to take a look at it? And they're moving the sticks. Looks not. Rocky Long's calling a defense, and it looks like this thing is going to stand. So Blaise Benson will set up shop. Best position Houston Baptist has had. They're at the 42-yard line. First down with 1:17 to go. They're down by 14. Lobo defense has been spectacular all night. 5 receivers are in the set, 3 to the right and 2 to the left for the sophomore Benson.
And sudden change, this position on the field. Don't be surprised if Houston Baptist takes a shot here.
Yeah, this would be the time, wouldn't it?
This is the time.
Open something up and maybe look for Robinson or Tyson Thompson to go deep. First down for Benson. Quick out to the left side. It is caught by Ian Beek, the running back who had lined up wide.
And Beek seems to be Benson's safety outlet. He's used him in a lot of different spots tonight. He spread him out on the outside. He's been right next to him as his running back, and that seems to be his safety net.
And I didn't expect we'd see as much a big. I thought we'd see more Drayshawn Miniweather, and we haven't seen any of it. Again, a quick out to the left side. It is complete. This time it's Thompson, wrapped up there by Dante Martin, who wouldn't let him go. A short gain will set up third down and about 4 for Houston Baptist. Joey Noble for the Lobos is not playing the first half. Number 98, who's one of the Lobos, a super senior, one of the 14 super seniors on the Lobo roster. He was thrown out of the last game of last season, so he has to sit out the first half, but I expect we will see Joey Noble in the second half.
Yeah, and really excited to see Joey this year coming back. He was just a force of nature last year, wreaking havoc on offenses, so excited to see him back on this field in the second half.
Benson pressured, Benson dropped. Did he lose the football? He did. No, he did not. He did not, but it is another sack for the Lobos, busting through. Big number 54, Langston Murray. The nose tackle got to him. There's a flag on the play. Flag in the backfield. Let's see what we got. But Langston Murray put the pressure on, and Benson had to tuck it and get buried. I thought for a second he might have dropped the football, but he did not. Second sack of it stands for the Lobos with 19 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
Let's see what this laundry is on the field here.
There's Langston. Smothered him, and it sounds like, well, the fans are booing. I don't know what they're booing about. Let's see what we got, because I don't see anybody changing personnel. Do you?
No, I mean there's something on the defensive side of the ball here.
Oh, they're going to offset. So is that a dead ball penalty that they offset? Are they replaying the down?
They are.
Can't hear them.
Replay third down.
That's not where they put the football now. That's not where they put the football, but it does still say third down. But where the yard marker is, it says, no, they're backing it up. So I think that's going to be a dead ball offsetting. I think the play's going to stand. The 2 on sportsmanlike offset, and it's fourth down, and that's exactly what's going on. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Man, you make me feel old every time you call me sir. I'm not going to lie. When George told me earlier today, he says, I used to watch on TV with my granddad. I'm like, dang, I got a mirror now. It talks to me.
It's true. You know, Channel 7 back in the day, just in Yetta. Here it is, man. And now I'm standing next to you. Wow.
Yeah, I'm working with you, and you're carrying me. Brady Buell, another punt. It's on the way. This is a good one. High. Manny Logan Green calls for the fair catch and lets it go. What a great kick that is. It goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line, and that's how the first quarter is going to end. Touchdown. Terry's going to have 99.5 yards to go. That is as good a kick and a bounce as you will ever see. For the Lobos, about as good a first quarter as they could have hoped for. First quarter's in the books. New Mexico leads Houston Baptist 14-0 here at University Stadium. Well, if you're a Lobo fan, the first half couldn't have gone much better. 2 Terry Wilson touchdowns. The first one there to Kyle Jarvis. The second one to tight end Trace Buckler. The Lobos lead after one period by a score of 14-0. Jefferson Beata, George Carter here at University Stadium. Lobos will start into their own end zone after a terrific punt by Brady Buell. That's Bobby Cole trying to give him a little breathing room out to the 4-yard line on first down. Stats out of the first period, George, Lobos had 119 total yards to Houston Baptist 13. Terry Wilson's numbers, 10 for 10, 83 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
He's everything that was advertised, right? I mean, he's coming in, he's being incredibly efficient, he's moving the ball around, he's making the right reads. That's what Terry's here for.
2nd down and 7. Touchdown. Terry's in his own end zone. Andrew Erickson goes in motion to the left, now back to the right. The give is to Bobby Cole again, and he is wrapped up. That is a terrific play by Vajon Wallace, the defensive end who penetrated and was there to drop Bobby for no gain.
And Houston Baptist has done a really nice job early in this game, really bottling up the UNM running game. I mean, the offensive line hasn't been able to really dig their heels in the way that they would like. And this defensive front, the front 7 from Houston Baptist, is playing some good football right now.
3rd and 7 for the Lobos. They need the 11 to get a first down. Bobby Cole's the receiver, or on the running back. Erickson goes in motion. It's a quick pitch to Andrew Erickson, who will go out of bounds at the 5-yard line. That will go down as a pass, look like a running play. It'll be a loss of 2, and Lobos will have to punt again. Getting the ball to Erickson. Houston Baptist was not fooled. So that'll bring out your punter, Aaron Rodriguez. Tyson Thompson will go back to receive for the Huskies. He'll stand at the 50-yard line right on the UNM logo. Yeah, going back to the old school logo. The old UNM logo, the sideways wolf head.
I like it.
That's the one you wore, right?
That's the one I wore. Yes, sir.
Yep. Back to that instead of the shield. Danny likes that. I love the UNM logo, the intertwined UNM that they wear on their hats. The coaches are all wearing as well.
Yes, sir.
That works well for them as well.
I like a little bit of the sprinkle of turquoise in the end zone there.
In the brand new field. Tyson comes up and fields it at the 45, and he's got a lot of room on the right. He's down to the 20-yard line. Tyson Thompson is going to score a Houston Baptist touchdown. Looked like about 42 yards on the return. Special teams is what gets Houston Baptist on the board. No flags down, 14-6. The Huskies are in the game.
And that's what happens sometimes when you have a line drive punt like that. You don't give time for your punt team to get down the field, and there you go. It just opened up like the Red Sea there, just boom.
They're calling it 56. I think it was about 44. He fielded it on the plus side. I think they'll probably change that to 44 instead of 56. Either way, they score the touchdown. Gino Garcia is their place kicker. He's on to attempt the extra point, which is on the way and now good. So 14-7, it just took a brief moment. Not the offense for Houston Baptist, special teams. And here it is again. A low kick.
Yep, low line driver.
And you'll be able to see Thompson, he's on the left, come in, and then there's just a lot of room, and it's good running. It's him finding lanes, got a couple of blocks downfield, and able to return that thing, I think 44 yards is what I'm calling. I know it's down as 56, but Tyson Thompson gets Houston Baptist on the board.
And a guy like Thompson, he's one of those guys for Houston Baptist that if you get into open space, he's going to gas you now, and that's exactly what he did. He was able to see the field. The coverage did their job. Touchdown.
So the first time Gino Garcia will get to kick, Lobos will send Manny Logan Green back to receive. He'll be back there along with Chad Alexander. Those are your 2 deep men for New Mexico. Garcia, first kickoff of the night for Houston Baptist. You don't try something silly here, do you now? Little momentum, maybe try to get sneaky. No, you don't. You kick it towards Manny Logan Green, but where he's not going to return it. Oh, he is going to. 5 yards deep in the end zone, Manny Logan Green's coming out. Takes it out to the 22-yard line. What happens when you assume? I forget.
Just get him the ball, right? Manny wants to get those touches, and he wants to take that ball to the house every time he touches it.
So Lobos will have much more palatable field position this time. They'll set up at the 22-yard line. Last time they had it inside their own 1. They went 3 and out, and Thompson returned the punt. Bobby Cole will come out with touchdown Terry Wilson. Wilson 10 for 10, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. I know he's listed as 1, but it was 2. Looks to his right, throws to his right. It is complete. That is big, number 81 on the catch for New Mexico. Wilson on the tackle. Good for 9 yards. 2nd down and 1. Elijah Queen on the catch. His first catch. Terry hands off. Bobby Cole fighting and gets the tough 2-3 yards. 1st down, Lobos. Bobby, 6 carries, 24 yards. Good start for Bobby Cole. Another 1st down for New Mexico. That'll be their 8th 1st down. Houston Baptist has only 1. So Lobos have moved the football, done what they want to do, but still in a 14-7 game now. Things changed, George, now that they return the kick, now that they're on the board, all of a sudden, does that just get your attention a little bit?
It does. And, I mean, I also think some of the game plan starts to go out the window. Right now it's just time to play football.
Now playing football is Houston Baptist's Brandon Walker coming in for the sack. That's Wilson, Wilson on the sack. So the first sack for Houston Baptist, Derek Wilson comes in on the sack.
And that's the side that UNM has been a bit worried about. Jankovic is having his first start tonight. He's been in a really heated battle all year and just missed him.
Yeah, and that was what Danny was saying. If we can get that side to play well, that side of the offensive line, we're going to be good. 2nd and 18 now for the Lobos. Give us to Bobby Cole, and he goes nowhere. Breaking through to grab the legs of Bobby Cole was number 3 for Houston Baptist. That is Isaiah Cash coming in from the safety spot. So a nice penetration as they brought the secondary in. And Lobos are looking at 3rd and 16, and all of a sudden it feels different.
Yeah, the last couple of series, the Lobos have struggled a bit, and they're having a really tough time getting their running game going. And if you know anything about this offense, it all goes through the run game. And if you can get the run game going, you've got action. But Lobos are having a tough time.
They need the 44. The throw is deep and over the head of Queen, and the Lobos will punt again. So Terry, on 3rd down and long, looks for Elijah Queen, throws over his head. That's his first incomplete pass. He completed his first 11 passes as a Lobo. And Tyson Thompson goes back to receive another kick. Aaron Rodriguez will kick it for New Mexico. The transfer from Missouri received the snap at about the 13, maybe 14-yard line. Now you know what Tyson Thompson can do.
For sure. And, I mean, Rodriguez was in a tough position. You know, he went down there to the sideline. Coach G probably gave him some feedback, and let's see what we got here.
Much better, higher kick, a lot harder to return, and boom, terrific coverage by New Mexico. That is Jarek Reed. He is an all-conference defensive back. Danny Gonzalez tells you he likes his best players playing special teams. There's one of your best players making a special teams play.
Yeah, Jarek is special. Again, you talk about another one of these guys that have the instinct. He's one of them.
Lobos lead 14-7, 10-30, including Louis. 14-7, Lobos are on top of Houston Baptist. 10:36 to go, first half. George Carter, I'm Jeff Sabieta. George, we got a game. All of a sudden, we got a football game. Flips out to the near side. That's Tyson Thompson, who's hit by 3 different dudes and shoved back, but not before he picks up 5 yards for Houston Baptist.
It seems like the Houston Baptist offense is starting to settle in a bit. We're starting to see them continue to move the ball down the field, a lot of these short dinking and dunking passes, but it's starting to get effective.
2nd down. Benson, the sophomore quarterback. There's Miniweather in. First handoff to Miniweather, the big bruising back. Gets out to about the 37-yard line and a first down. Deion Hunter was there, I believe, or was that Rico Hanna? Rico Hanna was in on the play. So I don't know if he was benched for the first half. Drayshawn Miniweather, we didn't see him in the first half. He's listed as their number 1 back. He was a guy that we had heard about. But now, first time we saw Drayshawn Miniweather, who is a second-team preseason All-Southland Conference performer. Benson gives it to him again. Miniweather goes through, and he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Langston Murray. maybe got a half a yard, but Murray wasn't fooled, the big nose guard.
And Murray's also having himself a game. He did a nice job getting off the block there to make that tackle. He's one of these guys who just is a high motor guy. He's going to continue to give you everything he has every play, and that's why this rotation that we're seeing through the defense is able to keep these defensive linemen and these UNM linebackers fresh.
-9 yards rushing so far for the Huskies. It's 2nd down and 10. Benson runs a man in motion. Rolls to the right, looking, gets pressured and throws it out of bounds. Nowhere to go with the football, and so he looked in the area of Vernon Harrell. Harrell was covered. A little pressure was coming in. Here's 3rd down now for Houston Baptist. Time for the Lobos to send some love the quarterback's way, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been seeing 4 to 5 guys go pretty much every play. There have been a few third downs where UNM has brought 6, so it will be interesting to see what they do here from a pressure standpoint.
All right, so it is 3rd down. They need the 47-yard line. Xavier Ford is the running back. First time we've seen him in was the last 2 plays. Over the middle, it is caught. Going to be enough for a 1st down. Good throw and a good catch by Derek Wilson. Enough for a 1st down. The quarterback stood in. Big, strong arm guy, delivered a good ball, and a receiver who was covered made a nice, strong catch on 3rd down.
And Benson's starting to get a bit of rhythm here. He's completed a few passes on this drive, so this offense is starting to move a little bit.
There's Wilson again, crosses the 50-yard line before he is dragged down by Patrick Peak. Gain of about 6, call it 2nd down and 4. Starting to get a little different feeling here, isn't it? Lobos have dominated the stats, except for it's only 14-7 on the real stat.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Houston Baptist will start to open things up a little bit. A lot of their play calls thus far have been short passes. Don't fall asleep if you're the UNM defense. Something deep could be coming.
Flip to the near side. Wilson again, and that is a terrific play on the near side by Tony Collier, the cornerback, who was able to fight off the block and make the tackle for a loss of a yard. 3rd down and 5. Houston Baptist just 1 for 6 tonight on 3rd downs.
And this is a big one. Houston Baptist needs this. They've got a little bit of momentum here. What do? Where are you going from a playbook standpoint? Vernon is your most senior receiver out there. Do you get him the ball in this scenario? Let's take a look.
Drops straight back to Benson. Has time and goes over the middle. It's complete again to Wilson between 2 receivers. Good enough for a 1st down all the way to the New Mexico 35-yard line. Keeps the drive alive. Gain of about 18. And a big throw by Place Benson. Quick, they run again. Benson throws to the far side. That is incomplete. Overthrew his receiver, Tyson Thompson. They go quickly. We knew they would go quickly. And that time they tried to catch the Lobos sleeping.
Yeah, and Houston Baptist is really starting to see some success with the mesh routes. They're running a lot of crossers over the middle. You're starting to see some of these UNM defensive backs bang around with each other. A lot of times when you run a mesh concept, you just get natural picks that form. And so that sometimes can take that linebacker or that safety out of the zone, and you have an open receiver running across the middle of the field.
Xavier Ford is into the running back. It's to Benson. He's now starting to feel good. Quick release, throws to the right side. Caught, complete, out to, still going down to the 16-yard line. A terrific play by Charles King, a freshman out of Houston's North Shores High School, was hit, fought through it, got extra yards, and it's a 1st down for Houston Baptist all the way at the 16. By far, George, their best drive. Benson with Ford again in the backfield. And now he's starting to throw the ball and starting to feel confident about the way he's throwing the ball. Big, tall, young quarterback with a strong arm, not afraid to get physical. Flips it out to the far side. It is complete. Collier is there to make the tackle on Vernon Harrell. Gain of about 4. They'll take that all night.
Yeah, and that was one of the first times I've actually seen Benson do some checking at the line. He saw all 3 of the Lobo linebackers threatening to blitz, and so he actually checked out of that play to that quick out. So let's see if he starts doing that a bit more as he begins to get a bit more rhythm in the game.
2nd down and 6 for the Huskies. Ford goes in motion, and as he is hit, he throws the ball. It goes incomplete. coming in was Ray Luatele, who's having a terrific game already with an interception and a sack or a tackle for loss. Got to the quarterback.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play. Ray's able to use his hands really well and get off a block and get in front of that quarterback to provide a little pressure there. That was a big play.
Big third down here. Houston Baptist needs the 6 for a first. Empty backfield for Blaise Benson. Getting pressured. Now he's forced out. Gets away from the defender, and it is intercepted. Are they going to call it inbounds? Intercepted. Did he get his foot down? They're still talking about it. They're still talking about it, and it is an interception. Adam Gay on the interception.
One of the big fellas down there out in coverage. That must have been some sort of man to have him drop off the line of scrimmage. That was a defensive end.
Omar Durame, not Adam Gay. Omar Durame, the defensive end, going out. You see the pressure, and then watch him, a defensive end, tapping his feet. I think he got them both down.
Look at that big fella. I see you out there. I see you out there, Omar.
I think he got them both down. So Lobos are going to take over. I think they may. Well, they're not looking.
Well, I'm seeing defense coming back out.
No, you are seeing defense come back out. Yes, you are. So another long delay. Did they go to the replay booth? No. So now it's called an incomplete pass. And they're calling it a first down, so there ought to be a penalty on New Mexico. They didn't call a penalty, George, did they?
I didn't see anything.
How do we get a first down at the 6?
Here.
First and goal at the 6. Benson to Miniweather, goes down the right side and gets about 3, fights his way all the way down the 3-yard line. So the pass was intercepted, right?
Yeah, now we're seeing an unnecessary roughness penalty.
Yeah, that's exactly what the call was, although they didn't announce it, did they?
No.
All right, so an unnecessary roughness erases the interception, and it's now 2nd down and 4. Look, okay, they bring the defense out, but why first down and goal? Miniweather is the running back. Looks to the right, throws to the right, and it is incomplete, but there is a flag down.
And that could be a pick down there. Again, running those mesh routes. Sometimes that can happen now, and I think I saw a pick there between the corner and the safety.
So Benson looking for Jalen Johnson. Flag is down, and I think you're right because I see Houston Baptist starting to back up. That was the oddest call.
Yeah, I've never quite seen that. I mean, we didn't see the referee come to the
So you called it dead right. It was offensive pass interference, and that's going to be back them up and reset this whole thing for them. Going back to it, so there was no call. There's the pick down below. Right here, I think they called it on number 1, Tyson Thompson.
Tyson Thompson, the young man who scored the touchdown earlier. Yeah, when you run a lot of mesh concept like that, you have a tendency to run into those defenders, and if it's too obvious, they'll call that.
2nd and goal at the 18. Benson looks left, pressure coming from the right, lobs it towards the end zone. It is incomplete. A terrific play by Tavian Combs to knock the ball away from Vernon Harrell. Clean left hand goes in. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
And that was a touchdown saver, and that's one of these guys. Again, Tavian Combs had a great conversation with Coach Long about him yesterday. Him being in that Lobo position because of the way that the game and the sport of football has evolved. In that Lobo position, that used to be a linebacker type of guy. Now, because you have 4 or 5 receivers out on the field every play, that position has now evolved into a bit more of a safety guy.
Tavian Combs playing that famed Lobo position, but you're right. Coach Long talked about the evolution of that position. Benson is going to get dropped. Get dropped by Rico Hanna. Talk about the Lobo position and the guy who made it famous. This guy's now wearing his number. Rico Hanna wearing Brian Urlacher's old number. Rico Hanna on the sack, and that might have even taken him out of field goal position.
Yeah, and Rico's one of these guys that Coach Long also talked about. Makes plays. Is just a downhill football player. Very intelligent in the way that he sees the football field. And there we go, getting sacks.
Well, not out of field goal position, but certainly out of gimme position. It'll be a 45-yard attempt by Gino Garcia, his first attempt of the year. Garcia's a junior. Everything looks good. A line drive kick is on his way, and it's good. So a 45-yard field goal by Gino Garcia. 4:27 to go. Lobos will get the ball when we come back. 14-10, New Mexico leading Houston Baptist. By far the best offensive drive for Houston Baptist. It ends in this field goal, 45 yards by Gino Garcia. And Houston Baptist is pulled to within 4. It's 14-10. Jeff Symbieta and George Carter, glad you're with us here on My 50 and the Mountain West Network. University Stadium in Albuquerque, the opener for both these teams. Lobos playing their first home game in 642 days. Houston Baptist playing their first game, period, since last October 5th. Both teams a little rusty, although New Mexico came out looking like they were going to blow this thing open, and Houston Baptist figured some things out. Yeah, they started to settle down a little bit. Benson looked very, very good on that last drive. Started to get a little bit of rhythm. They started running the ball a little bit more. So let's see. UNM's offense on the other side has been a bit stagnant. So let's see if they can pick things up. Manny Logan Green is loose out to the 40-yard line. A big return for the Lobos in good field position once again for the University of New Mexico. That's where Terry Wilson will set up shop. 11-12 is he in his Lobo debut. 92 yards. Now that can't be right. I'm looking at the stats at UNM. Here's what I got for total yards for you. 129 for New Mexico. 70, most of them on the last drive for Houston Baptist. And this is textbook. You're in your 4 minutes left in the half. 4-minute drill. You practice this every single day in practice to really wind that clock down, get a score at the end of it. So let's see what UNM can do here offensively. That's Bobby Cole who takes the pitch on the right side, and he is dragged down from behind by Segun Igiera, the big defensive tackle from Lake Dallas High School. Was able to get him from behind, a senior who they really, really, really like. Yeah, and the offensive coaches from UNM were a bit worried about him being able to get into the backfield. He's one of these guys that has an incredibly quick first step, and you've seen it because he's been in the backfield quite a bit early on in this game. 2 backs in the backfield now for New Mexico, and they run an option look. Wilson pitches it to Bobby Cole, who's got some room on the outside. Bobby gets out to about the 49-yard line, where he is dropped. He'll be a couple of yards short. That is Philip Osai making the tackle for Houston Baptist, and so it'll be 3rd down and 2 for New Mexico. They got to get just across the 50 to the other 49. And there's a great battle happening right now between these offensive and defensive lines. I mean, right now there's quite a bit of a stalemate. No one has really been able to blow anyone off of the ball at this juncture of the game. And so we'll really begin to see if UNM is going to stick and continue to commit to the run game, or they're going to start to open it up a bit more. 3rd down and 2. Terry goes under center. Big fullback comes in the game. They give it to Bobby Cole, who's got some room over the right side and barrels his way for a first down. A gain of about 4 for Bobby. Ran over Isaiah Cash, the safety who came up to try to plug the hole. And another first down for the Lobos. They've really liked Bobby, who's been Cash money, or Cole money, I guess, in this case, on 3rd down and short. And Bobby's one of those types of running backs that's always falling forward, right? You very rarely see him go backwards, and he's always moving the pile forward. And as you begin to get into the game and the game progresses, as a defender, you start to get a bit tired of the guys like that. So let's see if that starts to happen to that defense. Terry's got time, looking deep. He's got a man wide open for a touchdown. New Mexico, 47-yard touchdown pass. Keontae Lanier, who this offensive staff just flat out loves. On the receiving end, Wilson to Keontae Lanier, 47 yards for the Lobo touchdown. And another one of these true freshmen showing up on this UNM offense. If you are a University of New Mexico Lobo fan, you have to be very excited about the future of this program, because some of these guys making plays on the offensive side of the ball are true freshmen. And in the Danny Gonzalez, Rocky Long program, that's somewhat rare, but these young men are coming in here and they're ready to play football. 3rd touchdown of the night for Terry Wilson. The kick by Shelley is good. We got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Lobos strike, and they lead Houston Baptist 21-10.
Over the years, pay your insurance. But the minute you're in a car wreck, the insurance companies treat you like a crook.
Don't be bullied by the insurance companies. Get Lerner and Rowe.
Lerner and Rowe can get you more. Call 544-4444.
Well, here's how it happened, George. Break it down.
There was some confusion in the back end of the defense, and I'm not really too sure if some guys ran into each other, but you generally should not have a receiver running down the field wide open like that.
You saw both defensive backs go on Manny Logan Green underneath.
Yeah.
And that's how Keontae Lanier got loose. 47 yards. Terry put it right on him in stride. Terry Wilson throws his third touchdown pass of the night. Your numbers for Terry Wilson in his New Mexico debut, they're decent. 13 for 14, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty good.
Yeah, as advertised, this is what we knew Terry was going to do. He's done a great job managing this game so far, and he's seeing everything. Outside of that sack, that has been one of his real only hiccups tonight, but he's been seeing the field incredibly well.
QB rating of 253.6. QB rating is one of those stats I've never really understood, but I know that's good.
Yeah, well, and he's efficient, right? He's limiting the amount of mistakes that he's making for this offense. He's putting them in a really good position. Let's see what we got here on the replay.
Yeah, let's see. You got confusion down here. 2 DBs ran into each other as Lanier got loose. Right here,
yeah.
5 and 8.
And part of that is great play design, right? You have a guy like Manny Logan Green who's on the outside, and he's looking to get the ball, and these guys know he's a playmaker. And then you have Keontae running down the middle of the field wide open.
Great job by our ProView Networks crew who's producing this game tonight, both up here in the booth and down on the field. The camera guys to get the shot. But that was a terrific look at it, exactly what you were looking for.
Shout out to the crew.
Xavier Ford's the running back. Blaise Benson is the quarterback. Last time they had the ball was by far their best drive. Houston Baptist starts at the 25, down 21-10. That's Ford's first carry. He's going to drag a man out for a gain of about a yard. Devin Sanders came in from the linebacker position to greet him and make the tackle for New Mexico. They've run 3 different running backs out there, but Blaise Benson has been best when he's been able to get the ball out of his hands quickly and throw it. Ford stays in as the back. Goes in motion, it's empty. Quick flip out to the right side. It is caught out of bounds. That is Vernon Harrell, a short gain. Call it about 2, maybe 3. Let's see where they spot it at the 35. So a 4-yard gain will make it 3rd down and 5. A big play both for the Lobo defense to try to get it back before halftime, and for Houston Baptist, this is a huge play.
Yeah, this is massive. This can keep that momentum moving forward for them, or it could really slow things down. And the UNM offense is really starting to settle in. So this is not a position of the field you want to give the ball back to the Lobos.
Benson flips it to the near side and throws it behind Tyson Thompson. Incomplete, 4th down, and Houston Baptist is going to have to give it right back to Terry.
Yeah, and UNM brought 2 linebackers playing some games now. They ran what they call a ghost switch. You have the Mike linebacker basically open up a hole, and then you have an outside linebacker who's able to find an opening and run upfield and get pressure on the quarterback. And now that UNM defensive front is starting to get some movement on this offensive line, and they're starting to create Benson he's having a tough time getting the ball out of his hands and getting it to where he needs to go.
So they will punt it again. Manny Logan Green is back deep for New Mexico. Good high spiral of a kick. Manny says get away from it. It bounces and takes a Houston Baptist bounce and then a couple of rolls. Die at the 13-yard line, and that's where New Mexico will take over. 1 minute, 24 seconds ago. This is one of those, it's ideal. You talk about your 4-minute offense that you practice. This is one of those that I know you do every day in practice, but now it's for real, and this is the kind of stuff that's probably at some point later in the season invaluable for you.
Right. This is the old 2-minute drill, right, where you do this every day in practice. You know this situation. You know the scenario. And so what UNM is trying to do here is move the ball down the field, potentially get in the field goal range, get some points before halftime.
Aaron Dumas from El Paso, the freshman, is in the backfield, the young man from America's High School who people are so excited about. Terry Wilson's the quarterback, gives it to Dumas, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and then rolls his way out to about the 20-yard line, a gain of 6. They sure do like this young man. They think he can be special.
Yeah, all the coaches have talked about him. I mean, he came here in the spring, right? So he was able to get those very, very valuable spring reps. Now he's been here all summer. He's been able to get an entire offseason under his legs, literally and figuratively. Spent a lot of time in the weight room with the team. So that's what you get with a guy like him, and he's ready to play football as a true freshman.
You surprised there's not more urgency here as they're letting the clock tick and tick down to 49 seconds?
It looks like UNM is okay with getting away with having this game 21-10 at the half. which, why not? Your team has played well. Come out for the second half and get ready to get things going.
Dumas again with a lot of room on the left side, makes a move at the line of scrimmage and spins away from another man, gets out to the 31 and a first down for New Mexico. Isaiah Cash made the tackle for Houston Baptist, but there's just a glimpse of why Lobo coaches and now I think Lobo fans are so excited about this young man. That was a terrific little run.
Yeah, I mean, those were two incredible cuts. One to be able to make the defender miss, and then a spin move. That's a lot more difficult to pull off than people actually realize. And so you could just tell this young man has a great feel for the game. He's very comfortable with the ball in his hands, and if you get him in open space, he is very difficult to bring down.
Especially in open space, gets through the traffic and then was able to make those moves. So we got 32 seconds to go in the first half. Lobos lead 21-10. First game in this stadium, first college football game, first with fans since the 21st of December of 2019, the New Mexico Bowl, when San Diego State beat Central Michigan. Rocky Long was the head coach of San Diego State that day, and now, of course, he is the defensive coordinator for New Mexico. First down for the Lobos. Let's see if now they decide to go for something or if they give it to Dumas again. And they're going to try to make something happen. Wilson's got time. Now he's pressured, rolls to the right side. Terry flips it to the near side and out of bounds. The pressure was coming by Kyler Baugh. Took about 12 seconds off the clock, but obviously after they got that first down, they thought they'd take a chance and let's see what they can do.
Yeah, and one of the things that you have to love about Terry, that's not a play that's going to show up on the stat sheet, but he didn't see anyone open downfield, and he didn't try to force the ball in anywhere. And that is the sign of a mature quarterback coming in. He didn't see anything down the field. Let me scramble and escape a little bit. Nothing opened up. Let's just get rid of it.
Luke Wysong in the backfield. Now we've seen they haven't gone to Luke since the first two possessions. And you loved what he was doing, the freshman. Getting the ball in the first, he hadn't touched it in the second quarter. They flip it out to Wysong on the near side, and he is brought down on a very nice play by Xavier Tolliver. Coming up from, they played kind of a 5 defensive back rotation too. It's almost like a 4-2-5.
Right.
And the variation of these defenses that we talked about with Rocky, that's going to be the last play of the half. But they play quirky, different defense as well. First half is in the books. We'll talk about it when we come back. Can't wait to hear what you think about it, George. What you thought about Terry Wilson's first half of football, Lobo defense as well. Halftime at University Stadium. Lobos lead Houston Baptist 21-10. Aaron Rodriguez back to punt for New Mexico. Tyson Thompson is the deep man. He's already returned one, a 46-yard touchdown for the Huskies. This is a much better kick by the Missouri transfer. Fair catch called for and made by Thompson at the 15-yard line. So that's where Houston Baptist will set up shop. Their freshman quarterback, Blaise Benson, takes over. Young man in making his first collegiate start. 12 of 22, 88 yards, 1 interception in the first half. But it felt like, George, he gained a lot of confidence as the game went on. Certainly looked a lot better in the second quarter than he did in the first.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Benson will begin to open it up a bit. We've seen him on film be able to get the ball downfield, and I don't think tonight he's had a pass over 10 to 12 yards. So let's see if Houston Baptist tries to stretch the field here as we come out in the second half.
Xavier Ford will be the running back. Straight drop and pressured and dropped by Jake Saltonstall, the big junior out of Morgan's Hills, California. Third sack for the Lobos as Saltonstall gets to the quarterback.
And Saltonstall's, again, he's another one of these guys with an incredibly high motor. He just makes plays. He knows where the football is. He's able to get off and fight blocks. He's not a big guy, but he's able to use his hands really well, and that was a really good example of that.
You know, big is all relevant, isn't it? Football-wise, for a lineman at 6'4", 250, I guess he's not big, but a pretty good-sized gentleman is he. Second and 17, they go quickly and complete back to near the original line of scrimmage. Brandon Walker on the receiving end of that short pass. Give him 6. It'll be third down and 11 for Blaise Benson in this Husky offense.
And Joey Noble's in the game. This is his territory. He loves these types of situations. Let's see if he's able to let it rip here.
Signed up at the left defensive end for New Mexico. Had to sit out the first half. He's got to be chomping at the pit, ready to go. Rico Hanna showing blitz. He's coming. Noble chasing the quarterback, and he tipped it. Joey Noble is in on his first series, and he makes an impact right away. Got a hand on the football, and it'll be 4th down. The Huskies will punt it away.
Yeah, Joey Noble is a guy to me he reminds me of a combination of two guys that I've played with, Michael Toohey and Tyler Donaldson. Again, not incredibly big guys, but they just made plays. Those instincts that they just always knew where the football was. They were always in the backfield. That's the type of player that Joey Noble is.
6'3", 245 is the gentleman that George has told you, and very big. And again, for a defensive lineman, that's not huge. But he was able to get out, force the quarterback out of the pocket, get his big paw on the football, and Brady Buell back to bunt. This guy might be the busiest guy on the night. Another high but not long kick. Manny Logan Green said get out of the way. It goes out of bounds at about the 49-yard line, and that's where the Lobos will set up shop. 12:04 to go. Third quarter here at University Stadium. New Mexico leads Houston Baptist 21-10. Student section looks good tonight. Students obviously buying into what Danny Gonzalez is selling. And hopefully as they keep winning, George, the rest of the town and Lobo fans will as well. Thursday night's always a different night. Labor Day weekend. But the first night of the season, it's been a success so far.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, again, the culture is changing, and Coach G talks a lot about this. This is a community effort. He's not going to do this on his own. He's trying to build and bring this city with him on this journey the Lobos are going on.
Aaron Dumas takes the handoff and gets pummeled at the line of scrimmage. The first guy through was Derek Wilson on the bottom, and then Segun Ijera finished him up off top. Gang tackle right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Houston Baptist has been doing a really nice job of bringing a lot of pressure from the edges, and they've been getting some openings there, and they've been able to get into the backfield more often than not tonight. So let's see if UNM can make some game checks and make some changes here to start shaking some things loose.
Lobos haven't been able to move the ball 4 plays in the second half. Let's see what they've got with Terry Wilson at quarterback. Play action to Dumas, looks left, throws over the middle. It is caught. A terrific catch there by Keontae Lanier, covered, and he's slow to get up. It's going to be enough for a 1st down out to the 34-yard line of Houston Baptist. Good throw by Terry. Nice catch on the other end. Lanier's made 2 big plays.
He has, and that was actually a fantastic route. And when I was talking to Coach Wareheim yesterday, he talked about Lanier he catches everything. Wherever you throw the ball, wherever you put it, he catches everything. He's got great ball skills.
16 yards on that to make it a 1st down. Option look. Wilson keeps it. Terry's got some room across the 30, heads to the sidelines and out of bounds at the 27-yard line. A gain of 6. And the first time we've seen Terry tuck it and run.
It is, and that was actually the first time we've seen a designed quarterback run tonight from Terry as well. We thought we were going to see a bit more of that, but again, Coach Wareheim seems like he's easing this offense in. He's not showing too much tonight. He's doing just enough to get the job done and moving the football.
You know, we asked yesterday, how much will you show? You got New Mexico State next week, Texas A&M the week after, and Danny said, we're playing football.
True. Very much to the culture of Coach G and Coach Long.
Terry Wilson goes under center, gives it to Dumas on the right side, shakes a tackle, and then is finally brought down right near the line to gain. Brennan Young finally finished off the tackle, but it looks like it's going to be enough for a 1st down right there at the 24-yard line, and it is. Another big, hard, aggressive, physical run by the freshman from El Paso Americas High School.
Yes, and these are some tough yards, though. The Lobos are continuing to run the ball in between the tackles, and this is some tough ground that they're trying to make, but they're continuing to pound at the front of this Houston Baptist
First
defense. Down
for the Lobos at the 24. They lead 21-10. Second drive for New Mexico in the second half. The give is to Dumas, fighting his way behind that line. A good push by that offensive line. Finally dragged down. Isaiah Cash, the safety, leads the charge. A gain of 2, but you can see which way that offense, or which way the line was moving, and it was the offensive line pushing the defensive line backwards.
Yeah, there's a great battle happening down there right now. Both of these offense and defensive lines are really just giving it their all. The front 7 for both of these teams has really come to play tonight.
Second down and about 7. Lobos need the 14 for a 1st down. Dumas settles on the left hip of the quarterback, Terry Kelly. Flips it out to the near side. It is complete, and running right through and over people is Trace Buckler. The physical young tight end made another play and turned what could have been a gain of about a yard into a first down.
He's got some skills, doesn't he? He has great hands and then the power to drop the shoulder and boom. Welcome to college football, young man. He's having himself a night.
6'3", 200 pounds. He is a freshman from Frisco, Texas. A freshman. They love their young tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, this team is just loaded with youth. And now you start to pair this with some of Terry's experience. Again, these are the things that are the building blocks of this program.
First down, Terry flips it out to the right side to Wysong, and a heck of a play there by Jordan Oliver to upend him just as he caught the ball. It'll be a loss of 2 back to the 16-yard line. First time Wysong's touched the ball since the first quarter.
Yeah, I'd like to really see Wysong get back in the mix. They had him. He was a big part of the offense that first quarter, and we haven't seen as much of him the second half of the game. So let's see if they begin to mix him up, or maybe they're just trying to get looks, right? They could be just trying to get some looks at some of these other young players out here.
Buckler lined up as a fullback this time, and they run the option on the near side. The pitch is to Dumas. Dumas gets loose, gets down to the 12-yard line, dragged down by Brennan Young. It's going to make for third down and long at the 12-yard line. They've shown different flashes of that. Usually, now every time they've lined up that tight end in the fullback position, they've run an option off.
They have, yeah. And, I mean, again, Coach Wareheim talked quite a bit about the tight end position. They move them around. It's a real utility player for this UNM offense. They put him in the H-back spot. They'll line him up as a traditional tight end, fullback, a little bit of everything.
Chad Alexander is now in the backfield. We're going to have the officials hold things up. Is it a substitution issue? Usually when they do that, it is. Now we got a timeout called by New Mexico, I believe. Yeah, we do. So assess what you see with Terry again, and we talked about it at halftime. Young man's 18 for 21, 168 yards. We'll talk about it when we come back. Let's take this break with this timeout. We'll talk about it when we come back. 7:17 to go. We're in the third quarter. Lobos lead the Huskies of Houston Baptist 21-10. Back here at University Stadium, Jeff Symbieta, George Carter. Glad you're with us on My 50 and the Mountain West Network, wherever and however you're watching us. Hope you're enjoying first game of the season between New Mexico and Houston Baptist. Lobos lead 21-10. They've got a third down and 9. Need to get about the 3-yard line for the first down. The running back is Chad Alexander. Terry looks at him, then throws to the near side. It is complete, but it's not going to be enough. Well, it's a heck of a fight now. Let's see if he was able to get there. Scruggs on the reception. He's going to be about 2 yards short, and Danny's going to have a decision to make.
Looks like they're leaving the offense out there.
Zarek Scruggs, first catch of the season. First catch is a Lobo. And they're going to leave the offense out there and figure this thing out, huh?
And this could be one of these defining moments of a season, right? I mean, what you're saying as a head coach here is, I trust my guys out on the field. Go make a play.
Aaron Dumas, the running back, a tight formation for New Mexico, and a timeout is going to be called by Houston Baptist, I believe. We got a lot of whistles of people running around.
Timeout?
Somebody called the timeout, and I would guess it's Houston Baptist. 6:38 to go. All right, let's go back to what we were talking about in the last timeout. So Terry's decision-making, he's thrown the ball away. He looks calm. Now, he hadn't been under a lot of duress. Your offensive line has done a nice job, and I don't know if that's your offensive line is doing well or they're just better than the defensive line. I think we'll find out more next week and certainly the week after.
Right.
But so far, it feels like he's made all the right decisions.
He has. He's made all the right plays for this team. He hasn't given the ball up, which has been a really nice thing. And, again, you see just what his level of experience brings to this team. You take a guy who has played in arguably the best conference in college football. He's won a lot of games, right? And so now you drop him into the Mountain West, and that is carrying over. And that experience is critical for this team.
So I think it's so important. This is why I've said New Mexico will be better. I said that their defense is going to be better because Rocky Long, Danny Gonzalez defense, it's worked for 25 years that I've watched it. Now they're going to kick the field goal, and Andrew Shelley comes on. But you drop a quarterback with this success in, so they've got to be better. And what quarterback consistency can mean for this program, we haven't seen in George. It's been a long time. I asked you earlier today as the kick is on its way, and it is good from 30 yards. So a 30-yard field goal from Andrew Shelley makes it 24-10. New Mexico quarterback situation over the years has been so unstable.
Yeah.
Week to week, not year to year, not month to month, but week to week. I asked you, and you knew the question, but I asked on the radio show this morning, opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Join us every morning. We'll be there tomorrow to talk Lobo football. When was the last time the Lobos had a quarterback that threw for 1,500 yards? 1,500 is not a lot of yards. That's if you play in all 12 games, you threw for 125 a game.
Right.
Not a big number. You knew the answer, but and shared the answer with our audience.
Donovan Porter-Reed.
Donovan Porter-Reed in 2009.
Yeah.
2009, this is now the year 2021. You haven't had in 11 full seasons. Now, last season doesn't count, right? But that's how unstable quarterback has been and what this young man could mean to this offense and this program.
And continuity is such an important piece of that college program, of having those quarterbacks who have been there for multiple years, and UNM hasn't been able to have that. And so now you have Terry here, you have Trey Hall, you have CJ Montez. He's able to come in, provide some leadership for these young guys, and begin to build a future around this position. And so I'm excited for what Terry will continue to do this season. But again, I think his impact on this team will be lasting.
All right, so this is where Houston Baptist will set up shop. And let's see what they do. Now, Houston Baptist is in an interesting situation right now. They've got a new offensive coordinator, Cedric Cormier, came over and is new to what they're doing. They've got a young quarterback who at times has looked good. It's building for them, too. We talked about New Mexico.
Yeah.
This is a big, probably third, fourth quarter for them just as far as their development, is it not?
Big time for this program. I mean, you have a lot of new faces. The transfer portal really affected this program last year by losing 7 of their biggest playmakers. And so they are trying to find themselves again. They've got a new quarterback. They have a bunch of young new receivers. And in an air raid offense, if you don't have some guys that have some experience, it's going to be tough to move the football, as they've struggled a bit tonight. But they'll begin to shake that off as the season wears on, and some of these guys get a bit more time to play the game.
Now, 2 complete passes there puts them in a third down and manageable, and that's what they're looking for. And I think that's what you're going to see a lot of right now. Okay, and Rocky Long said to us yesterday, everybody tries to get rid of it quick against our defense. They know we're coming, and they all try to get it out of their hands quickly. And for this young quarterback, a big, good-looking quarterback now.
Right.
Third down and 1.
UNM showing some pressure here.
Manyweather's the back. They're going to run the quarterback. He gets loose all the way, right to the line of gain, I believe, where he is greeted by a slew of Lobos. Tavian Combs was in on it as well. It's right at the number, and they're going to give it to him to the 35-yard line because it started as a touchback from the 25. So all he had to do was tickle that stripe. He gets the first down, and he does. Another show of how that young quarterback is not going to shy away from physicality.
Yeah, no, he's going to drop that shoulder anytime he gets a chance. He hasn't been able to run the ball as much as I think we anticipated earlier in the game, but he's still getting some touches.
5-10 and clicking. Third quarter, Lobos lead 24-10. Manyweather is the running back. Haven't seen a ton of him tonight. He takes the handoff and has some room and has 11 yards as he hurdles a defender all the way out to the 46-yard line, and a first down for a young man who is second team All-Southland Conference preseason. So another first down and a good-looking drive so far for the Huskies. Manyweather stays in. Benson gives it to him again, and there's a hole on the left side. Tavian Combs is the first guy there to close that hole. A gain of 1 and a real nice, quick closing of the hole by Tavian Combs.
Yeah, I love to see Tavian down there at the line of scrimmage. That's where you see the physicality of the Lobo back kind of coming in as if they were a linebacker. And Tavian has a great instinct. He's always around the football. He was the second leading tackler on the team last year as a true freshman. So another one of these young guys who is continuing to build the foundation for this UNM football team.
You know, I'm afraid to say this because I don't want to jinx it, but one of the things that has impressed me the most about this game and it being a season opener is the small amount of penalties. As Benson gets chased out of the pocket and now he's got some room to run, slides down at the 50 where he is greeted there
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, both teams have played an incredibly clean game. There haven't been a lot of penalties. There haven't been a lot of turnovers. I think the nerves and the jitters got out of both of these teams really early on. So now they're both starting to settle in, and we'll see what type of second-half football team both of these teams are.
4 yards on the run by Benson. It was Joey Noble who was there to finish off the play, make sure he slid down. 3rd down and 7. They need the 44-yard line. Ford is the running back off the right hip of Benson. This time he has time, throws it over the middle. It's a heck of a play there to knock the ball away by Jarek Reed. Double coverage on the receiver. Reed got his hand on it. It's 4th and 7.
Yeah, and Benson saw that pressure coming early on. It was a little too late for him to be able to check out of that play, but he could definitely feel the pressure. And as the ball was snapped, there were already guys in his face, which forced him to get that ball out of his hands a little bit sooner than he wanted to.
Yeah, I think their offensive lines did an admirable job. Like if you're Houston Baptist right now, you want to win the game. You didn't come here for points just to feel good about yourself. And the game by no means is over. It's a 24-10 game. But do you feel decent about yourself? You're Vic Shealy right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're hanging in with the UNM Lobos here. They're playing good football. They're a couple mistakes away from really being into this football game. So, yes, sir.
Manny Logan Green watches the ball go through the end zone. It is a touchback. Lobos will have it at the 25 when we come back. 3:17 to go. 3rd quarter. New Mexico leads Houston Baptist 24-10. Flags down. That's how it is. Hannah was applying pressure and almost got to him. We'll back him up, and we'll do 1st down again. 1:42 to go here in the 3rd.
And we talked about this a couple segments ago, partner, but now we're starting to see some of these penalties start to crop up here as the game begins to wear on a bit.
Well, that was my fear. As I said, I'm impressed with the low number of penalties that we're going to start to see, and we've had 2 in the last 2 plays. Empty backfield for Blaise Benson. Flips it out to the left side where it is complete. Didn't get very much, about 4 yards on that. Syer Riley on the tackle. First catch of the night for Ishmael Fuller. Actually, I think it's the 2nd catch of the night for Ishmael Fuller. 2nd and 16, chip by chip, and we got a man down for Houston Baptist. It is Wilson, the receiver, Brendan Wilson. Looks like he's all right as he gets attended to and is off under his own power, so everybody else will move off. Crowd tonight, I promise you, enjoying themselves. And these crowds, George, they'll grow. They'll grow. As people start to see a winner, you know, this town like any, start to see success, I got to believe they're going to come. 2nd and 16, Lobos showing blitz. Here they come. Benson throws it over the middle. It is complete. Nice play by Tavion Combs to make the immediate tackle.
That was a great read by Benson there. He knew the blitz was coming. He was able to get into his set, drop back, saw a nice little slant coming across the formation. Now you have a 3rd and manageable.
Charles King on the reception. Under a minute, 3rd down and 8. They need to get across the 35-yard line for the 1st down to the Huskies. Benson throws, complete. King again, pushed backwards by Dion Hunter, but not before he crossed the line to gain, which was the 36, got out to the 37-yard line. A nice play by Houston Baptist to convert a 3rd down. It's 1st down, and here they go quickly again. The give is to Ford, and there's Hunter to make the tackle immediately. A loss of 2 on Xavier Ford, and a nice play by Dion Hunter, who's everywhere the ball is right now.
He is. I mean, again, another one of these guys who just loves to put his nose into the mix. Incredibly physical linebacker, wearing number 42 tonight, looking pretty good.
Flip out to the far side, incomplete as he got the ball out of his hands early, looking for Ishmael Fuller. That'll be 3rd down and 12, and this is the one now where I think if you don't get off the field here, if you're New Mexico, you're really disappointed, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm starting to see lots of hands on hips, and I mean, and that's going to be something that you would expect in game 1. These guys aren't necessarily in game shape yet,
altitude
but they'll
also.
Get there. Altitude as well.
Also. Houston coming from sea level. You can't assimilate altitude no matter where you are, and it's real. Benson with pressure, rolls to the right side, being chased. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Benson gets to the 49-yard line, 2 yards more than he needed, and a first down and another nice play by this young quarterback who's getting better. You can see him getting better from the first quarter to now.
Yeah, and you got to have some situational awareness out there on the field, knowing that this guy can take off and run. You got to be checking back for that as a defense.
That's the end of the third quarter on that play. Houston Baptist will have the ball at the 49-yard line. It'll be first down. They trail by 14. We've played 3 here at University Stadium. New Mexico leads Houston Baptist 24-10. Fourth quarter at the University of New Mexico's University Stadium. Lobos lead Houston Baptist 24-10. Jeff Symbieta, George Carter, glad you're with us. First game in a long, long time. 642 days, I'm told. First down for Houston Baptist. They trail by 2 touchdowns. Blaise Benson is their young sophomore quarterback. Takes it on a keeper and runs into a bunch of dudes. One of them was Joey Noble. One of them was Langston Murray. After all that time at halftime, that's what you came out with?
Yeah. Ray Luatele getting his head back in there as well. I mean, they're trying to start to move the ball in different ways down the field, but this UNM defense continues to hold steady.
I love your eyes, man. You can see all those numbers now. I got these binoculars going, and you can just see it because we're up here now. We're in the sky. We are in the sky. Second down, 11. Call it a loss of 1 on that. Lobo showing pressure from everywhere, trying to disguise a defense and fool the young quarterback who's making his first collegiate start. Benson drops back, unloads to the left side. It's complete to King, who's wrapped up by Tavian Combs. He gets free from Tavian Combs, so it's Jarek Reed who cleans it up. A gain of about 7 out to the 45-yard line. You're going to have third down and 4.
Nice job by Benson there, recognizing what was happening. He knew he was going to be having quite a bit of pressure in his face. He was able to roll, get out of the pocket a bit, make a nice pass, and now you got a third manageable.
Another third down. Huskies are 5 of 13 converting tonight. King comes in motion. He's got 3 receivers to the right. Benson's in trouble. Benson is dropped. Big number 97, Justin Harris, got to him. The defensive end, and a big play by the Lobo defense when they needed a stop.
Looks like Justin has a little bit of a cramp right now, but he's, again, another one of these guys who just plays. He uses his hands really well. He's able to get off of blocks, and when you put pressure on a quarterback, this is what you see tonight.
Justin, the big senior, transferred from Baylor, makes the sack. I believe that to be the 4th sack of the night for New Mexico. And once again, Buell will come on to punt it away for the Huskies. This one, a high kick. Manny Logan Green will watch it go over his head. And look at that.
Another one.
I mean, I wish I was that good with my pitching wedge. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
The way he gets that thing to back up is terrific. First half, he backed one up and got to go sideways at the 1. This time, the Lobos will start at the 2, but they got a 2-touchdown lead with 12:52 to go.
Yeah, and we're at the.
Another terrific punt by Brady Buell has pinned the Lobos back at their own 2-yard line. First down, they've got a 24-10 lead, 12:52 to go. Aaron Dumas is the running back. He takes it, runs behind the left side of that offensive line and gets himself out to about the 6-yard line, gives himself a little breathing room. Dumas has been nice for New Mexico. He is now the leading rusher. That'll be his 10th carry for about 41 yards. I believe it's 41. They're leaning on him a lot. We haven't seen a lot of Bobby Cole lately.
We have not in the second half, and this is a good opportunity for UNM to really chew some time off the clock. This is where you start to win football games, and we've talked a lot about changing culture. You also have to teach people how to win, and so I'm excited to see if UNM can close this thing out.
Dumas again, a short gain. Dejan Wallace wrapped him up. He got about 2 out to the 9-yard line. So it's going to be third down and 3. Look, I don't think this game's put away yet. I just don't, and I don't think you want to give it right back to them in good field position. I realize Houston Baptist has not scored an offensive touchdown yet, but I thought there were times on the last drive that looked better. You don't want to give it right back to them.
Yeah, they've been threatening, and again, you got to be able to start to establish some drives to close out this game. You have a 2-touchdown lead, and so what can you do here offensively to keep the clock moving? Chad
Alexander's in the backfield with Terry Wilson, who looks to his right, throws to his right, and has a terrific catch by Lanier. What a great throw. Jordan Oliver had wonderful coverage on him. Terry put the ball the only place it could be caught, and Keontae Lanier makes a great catch.
Yeah, and Terry throws an incredible slant. Looking at his highlight tape from last year, Look at that. I mean, just a beautiful, tight spiral. He gets the ball out of his hands fast. And Keontae is turning himself into a football player here on this Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a great catch, but it might have been a great throw. They were, maybe I'll call them both wonderful or very, very good. But a big play when Lobos needed it. There's keeper by Wilson, who's got room on the left side. Terry's got a lot of room. Terry may go the whole way. Terry Wilson with one man to beat. Terry goes out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Isaiah Cash was there to push him out, or at least force him out of bounds. A big run, the biggest play of the night for New Mexico. Gets him all the way down to the 17-yard line. Actually, it started at the 17, at the 27-yard line, and a big, big play for Terry Wilson.
And we've been waiting for Terry to do this all night, and he was able to get out onto the edge, didn't necessarily make the option pitch, was able to keep it. And again, his vision, his ability to see the field. Make it happen, young man.
First down for the Lobos. Terry drops the snap and falls on it, so it'll be a loss of about 6 yards. I don't know that it was that bad of a snap. It looked like he just dropped it. Wilson's gain was 56 yards. It's the longest play of scrimmage for New Mexico tonight, so that makes Terry Wilson not only your leading passer, but New Mexico's leading rusher with 59 yards. Dumas has 44. Call it a loss of 4 on the dropped snap. Second down and 14 for the Lobos. Clock's ticking at 10:09. The running back is Dumas. There's the option again with the tight end in the backfield. It looked like they wanted to do something different that time, didn't it? Another loss. This one will be about 5, but you had the running back get in front of the quarterback. Dumas got out in front. There was nowhere to pitch, so it looked like they were obviously trying to do something different.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a designed QB run there to get Terry out on the edge. Houston Baptist is doing a nice job of continuing to close down the edges, and they're not letting him get outside of contain. At least they didn't that play. And so
it'll be third down and 15 for New Mexico. The ball's at the 36-yard line. They need to get all the way down to about the 17 for a first down. Personnel changes. Danny Gonzalez said you'll see a lot of different players, especially offensively, right, come in and out, and I think we've seen that today.
We've seen quite a bit of the UNM offense and some of this new young talent that they have out here on this team, getting them some experience, getting them some exposure, getting their first college plays under their belt. Like what I'm seeing tonight from this UNM team.
Terry rolls to the right, getting pressured, throws downfield and overthrows Manny Logan Green right around where they needed to be. Logan Green was covered well, and it'll be fourth down for New Mexico. Kind of a decision. You're in a weird spot right now. A field goal would be north of 50 yards, somewhere in the area of 54, 55, and they're going to.
Yeah, I think you punt here and you play a field possession game, right? I mean, if you're able
to kick a field goal.
Wow.
Andrew Shelley's out. It'll be about 53, 54 yards. So they're bringing Shelley out to see what he can do. And I guess at this point you want to know what your kicker can do. They had a terrific – it's Steinkamp coming out to kick. So it was Shelley, but I guess they think Steinkamp's got the longer leg. So Steinkamp's kick from 53 is on the way. Line drive, and it is wide right. And so it'll be good field position for Houston Baptist when we come back. 9 minutes, 28 seconds to go. We are in the fourth quarter. New Mexico leads Houston Baptist 24-10. At a kicking competition, George Steinkamp and Andrew Shelley throughout camp. In fact, Danny Gonzalez, when we met with him yesterday, said, I'm not sure who's going to kick. You'll know when they go out there. Steinkamp will do the kickoffs. It's been Shelley doing the field goal, the earlier field goal, the shorter one, and the point after conversions. Steinkamp for the longer kick there.
Yeah, and I didn't agree with that call. I think you punt the ball away. You try to get these guys pushed back deep on the field. You change the field possession of the game. Now you're giving them a shot.
Empty backfield for Benson. Looks to the right. Throws tipped, incomplete. Little dangerous there for the young man as the Lobo defense has been stingy all night. Total yards 130. So statistically, and I think overall, Lobo defense has played well.
Yeah, no, they've done a nice job getting some pressure on the quarterback. They've been able to keep everything in front of them, right? One of the big weaknesses of this defense last year was the big play. Tonight, we haven't seen that.
Blaise Benson drops back again. Now he's running out of time. Pressure, throws. It is caught on the comeback route. A nice play by Vernon Harrell. but it's going to be a gain of, well, I guess gain about 5. So that's a nice play by the young quarterback, and I really like the route that's run by Vernon Harrell. Saw his quarterback needed him and came back and made himself available.
Exactly. I mean, Harrell's the most experienced wide receiver on this core, and so he saw his quarterback in a little bit of stress. Come back to me, get a nice little reception. You give yourself a chance on 3rd down now.
3rd and 4, they need the 46-yard line. I tell you that because I know you're so used to seeing that magic yellow line on your screen sometimes as you watch games. Benson drops back to throw. Throws to the right side. I think he short hopped his receiver. Incomplete. 4th down and decision time for Vic Shealy. Is it that point in the game where you have got to get a 1st down? Nope, he's going to bring on the punt unit. His punter's been brilliant.
He has tonight, and I mean, this is his range, right? I mean, if he can put something down there, pin UNM back. We're just going back and forth in the second half of this game, basically of a battle of field position here.
Brady Buell will come on. He's been, I mean, nothing short of brilliant. 2 balls that he's killed inside the 2-yard line. Manny Logan Green back at the 20 to return it for New Mexico. Not a lot of pressure on the punter. Another beautiful, high, deep kick that runs Logan Green back to the 10-yard line, and that's where the Lobos will set up shop. 1st down for New Mexico, just over 8.5 minutes to go. They're protecting a 14-point lead, 24-10. So what are you looking here? Is it about, George, is it about now? Just worry about this particular game, or are you trying to teach a lesson now for somewhere down the line? You got New Mexico State next week. You got Texas A&M the week after that, UTEP after that, and then a full league slate. So is this drive now about now or the future?
It's about now, but it's also about the future, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're wanting to give these guys some level of confidence out here on the field and knowing that they can go out and close a game. And when you've been around a program that hasn't won a lot of games, winning is part of a culture, right? And so you have to rebuild that, and that's what UNM's doing. So it would be good to be able to see them move the ball down the field, choose some more of this time off the clock. They don't necessarily need points here, right? But they got to start to seal this win and close the lid on this thing.
Aaron Dumas got the carry back to the line of scrimmage. Another nice play by Brennan Young. I've been impressed by their front.
Yeah.
I think Young, I think Wallace has played well. Ardoin has been nice. Osai has made some plays. Ijera is as good as they told us he was. I think their defense has played well. The give again to Dumas. This time he runs right into that big line, and it is number 90, Kyler Baugh, who, again, another guy who's been really impressive. The offensive line found a hole, pushed him backwards, got him 5 yards, and then it was Baugh on the tackle.
Yeah, Ball's had himself a nice game, and so is Brennan Young tonight. I mean, Brennan Young was the 2nd leading tackler on the team last year. I mean, the reality is Houston Baptist just creates tackling machines. I mean, they've had guys at the top of their conference every single year leading it in terms of tackles, and so that's what happens in a defense like this where you push a lot of the plays to the linebackers.
First time we've seen Bobby Wooden in the backfield, number 4 off the left hip of Terry. Wilson drops straight back, now flips it in the area of Wooden and overthrows him on 3rd down and 5. And the Lobos are going to be forced to punt again, another 3 and out for New Mexico.
Yeah, the Lobo offense has stalled a bit. I mean, outside of that one run that we've seen from Terry where he was able to pop it, they've really slowed down. They just have not been able to get a really nice rhythm in the second half of this game.
So it will be another punt for Aaron Rodriguez. Tyson Thompson back to receive for Houston Baptist. Thompson had 1 return for a touchdown, another big return that was called back on a holding penalty, and he's been able to return the line drive kicks. This, another returnable kick. Thompson at the 34. Gets loose again, and he's got room on the near side one more time. Run out of bounds at the 40-yard line of New Mexico. Really good field position for Houston Baptist. This is a 2-touchdown game, and there's 7 minutes left. 24-10, New Mexico leads Houston Baptist. Minutes to go in the 4th quarter. We still got a football game. Houston Baptist has the ball. They trailed New Mexico by 2 touchdowns, 24-10. Lobos open up a 20 31-10 halftime lead, have upped it to 24 with a field goal in the third quarter. Blaise Benson is the sophomore quarterback, back to throw, throws it over the middle. It is complete. The gain will be about 7 yards. Ismael Fuller on the receiving end, and this young quarterback looks poised. Benson 20 for 36, 136 yards. He had the one interception on the first possession of his first collegiate start. Other than that, I think he's gotten better and better.
Yeah, he's played a nice game. I mean, he's been under duress quite a bit tonight, and he's been able to get the ball out. And the coaching staff from Houston Baptist has done a nice job to also move the pocket around and get him in a position where he can make plays.
Back to throw. This time he's going to air it out. Going deep. Has a man. It is dropped in the end zone, which would have been a score. Dropped in the end zone by Vernon Harrell, who has been very, very good today.
And that was actually poked out by Jarek Reed. I mean, he was able to get his hand in there. That was in his hands, Harrell's hands. And Jarek Reed was able to pop that thing out of there. That's the second time that's happened for these UNM defensive backs tonight.
All right, so Reed makes the play. That was, I thought, a well-thrown ball. He put it right where he needed to throw it. Take a look at it. It's caught. No, that went right through him before Jarek got there. So you got 3rd down and 4. Big play for Houston Baptist offense, obviously for the Lobo defense. Benson gets it out of his hands quickly. Throws complete to King for a 1st down. Out to the 20-yard line. Brought down there by Rico Hanna. 1st down for Houston Baptist, and I think people might be getting a little nervous in this place.
Yeah, UNM's defense seems to be on their heels there. I mean, they were playing a cover 3 on that series, or on that play there, in a situation where you had 3rd and 4, and you know you have to have your DBs up. I would like to see some man coverage there.
1st down for the Huskies. They're at the 20-yard line. Have not scored an offensive touchdown tonight. Benson looks left. Now he's got time as he rolls to the right. Flushed out of the pocket. He's out of time. Gets away from one tackle. Physicals his way to the 15-yard line for a gain of 5.
And the Houston Baptist offensive line is doing a better job of picking up some of these blitzes. They've been running switches all night where they've been running linebackers off the defensive tackles and also with other linebackers, and they're finally starting to pick that thing up a bit.
2nd down, 5. Clock running at 5:27. Lobo lead is 14. Houston Baptist knocking on the door. Ford motions out of the backfield. Benson throws. Hot receiver is open on the far side. Tavian Combs wraps up King right at the line to gain, but it is going to be enough for 1st down. Got to the 9-yard line. 1st down and goal on another catch by Charles King, who's all of a sudden become his favorite receiver.
And if you're UNM right now, you need someone on this defensive unit to make a play. And if you're Houston Baptist, same thing. You need someone to step up and make a play here. We have 5 minutes left in this game. We're getting down to crunch time. So let's see if these young teams can make some things happen.
Just ticked under 5. 24-10 New Mexico, protecting a 14-point lead. Blaise Benson's the sophomore quarterback for Houston Baptist. Throws it to the left side, caught, dropped immediately by Patrick Peak. Tyson Thompson on the catch for Houston Baptist, a gain of about 3 down to the 6-yard line. Now, time's got to be a little bit of a concern for Houston Baptist with the clock moving. They've got all 3 timeouts left when they need them. 2nd down and goal for the Huskies. Benson flushed, being chased by Rico Hanna. Throws, caught, touchdown, Houston Baptist. Charles King with a terrific catch in the end zone, and the Huskies have their first offensive touchdown of the night. It's 24-16.
And this is the most comfortable we've seen Benson all night. He's able to move out of the pocket. He creates some space. He's able to move his receivers around, direct traffic a little bit, and then he drops a dime to King.
And a really nice catch by King in the end zone. So the first touchdown pass of the night, the first touchdown by the offense. The other touchdown, of course, was a special teams touchdown. And Benson's numbers have become a lot more impressive as he's throwing the ball in the second half. 25 for 42, 166 yards, and now a touchdown. And Garcia comes on for the extra point. It's a pretty important one with 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Kick is on the way, and it is good. So 7 plays, 40 yards. They took 2 minutes and 57 seconds for Houston Baptist to score. Charles King from Blaise Benson. Don't go away. I don't think you will. We got an interesting 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Lobos lead the Huskies 24-17. Nick, a little different than you expected it might be? Imagine it might be. 24-17, Lobos lead by 7 points over Houston Baptist. Jeff Symbieta, George Carter back here at University Stadium. 4 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. George, the Lobo offense has been stagnant, has not looked good in the second half. They have got to come up with something here. 3 and out is going to make you really, really nervous.
Yeah, and they've just really struggled to get any sense of rhythm here in this second half. And the play calling has seemed to slow down a bit as well. We've seen a lot of the same from Coach Wareheim, whereas in the first half of the game, he was really mixing it up, getting a lot of guys involved. But a lot of that has slowed down in the second half, and you have to credit Houston Baptist for continuing to just pound away at this Lobo offense.
Terry Wilson, 19 of 25, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns. On the other side, Blaise Benson, 25 for 42 with an interception, 172 yards and 1 touchdown. It's all going to come down to what you're going to watch right now. A fair catch is called for by Alexander, so that'll bring the ball out to the 25-yard line where New Mexico will take over. A big series for the senior quarterback, 6-year transfer from Kentucky, making his first start at New Mexico. Looked terrific in the first half.
Yeah, you got to go win a game now, right? I mean, this is what you're here for, and this is what you're trying to help teach this program, how to close out and ice games. I mean, no one necessarily expected this to close up here in the second half, and it seems like the Lobos have taken their foot off the pedal a bit, and so can they go out and close this football game?
Do you see Bobby Cole on the sideline at all? Because Aaron Dumas has played the whole second half, and not that there's anything wrong with that because he's a terrific young back, but we had seen them switch and really rely on Bobby Cole early.
Yeah, we haven't seen him out on the field. I see him down there on the sideline.
There's a mix-up early. Terry looked like he wanted to hand the ball to Dumas. Dumas wasn't there. Terry had a fall on the football, a loss of 3 on first down. It'll be second down and 13. 3 timeouts left for the Huskies if they need them. You mentioned in the break, George, you mentioned body language. You said look at the energy on the 2 sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on the Houston Baptist sideline is standing up. They're in this game, whereas with the guys from UNM, it's kind of a little ho-hum down there, and this is where you need some leadership from the seniors, from the underclassmen. Someone has to step up and help will this team forward right now.
Wilson gives it to Dumas, who runs into the line, and a bunch of guys is able to push it for 5 yards. Gets himself out to the 27, but it's now 3rd down and 8. Timeout going to be called by Vic Shealy and Houston Baptist. A good timeout. He thinks he's going to make a stop here and be able to get the ball. Clock's still running. I don't know why obviously the clock operator hasn't seen it. Now, I think they probably ran off about 5 seconds on it. Big stop, big defensive stand for Houston Baptist. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, their defense has been better than New Mexico's offense in this second half.
They really have been. I mean, they've just been getting after these running backs.
Here you're watching some of the highlights from earlier. That's the Luatele interception. That was in the first possession for Houston Baptist. It led to this. Terry Wilson throwing across the field to Kyle Jarvis. That was the first touchdown of the game. That's how the Lobos opened a 7-0 lead. On their next possession, it was Wilson to Trace Buckler. It looked like Lobos were going to roll.
Looked like they were going to run away with this thing. They were out of the gates really quick, but things have slowed down for this Lobo offense ever since. They haven't been able to get the rhythm they had in the first half. So let's see if they can close this thing out.
Yeah, big play here. 3rd down and 8. They need the 35-yard line. Wilson flips it over to the near side. It is caught by Wysong. They go to the freshman for the big play. He gets to the 32-yard line where he is stopped short of the first down. Big play made there by Coy Miller, the safety coming up to make the tackle. Another timeout called by Houston Baptist. Lobos are going to have to punt the ball back to the Huskies. 3:05 left to go, and nursing a 1 touchdown lead, and all of the momentum on the side of the guys from Texas.
And that's a lot of time on the clock. That's an eternity in the game of football. I mean, 3 minutes, you have some time to work. And so right now the playbook for Houston Baptist is wide open.
Lobo special teams called over to the sidelines, as are Houston Baptist. Showing you some more highlights here is how we got to this point. This was a beautiful pass from Terry Wilson to Keontae Lanier. That was a 47-yard touchdown. And then the field goal by Andrew Shelley. And Lobos were up by a score of 24-10 and looked like they were cruising. This then happened. Benson got loose on the roll, threw a beautiful pass, and Charles King made a really nice catch in the end zone. That happened less than a minute ago on the play clock. If you look at the play clock, that was about 56 seconds ago, 53 seconds ago. So here we go, and hang on. Tyson Thompson back to receive the punt. He has been terrific returning punts. This young man has flipped the field a number of times. Aaron Rodriguez to punt for New Mexico.
Kick away.
Right?
You got to kick away from this guy. He's gashed UNM all night. This is where you need to make an adjustment. Kick away from this young man.
Rolls to the right, thought about it. There's a low line drive kick, but I think because he rolled around, but his defense got down there, but it doesn't matter because the kick was short. The kick goes out of bounds at the 39-yard line, and Houston Baptist has terrific field position. One timeout, 3 minutes, 3 seconds left, and the Huskies, an FCS school who plays in the Southland Conference, has a chance to come down and tie this game or potentially win it. Houston Baptist was 1-3 last year. The Southland Conference did not play. I talked to Vic Shealy on Tuesday. He said, we wanted to play, but our league didn't play, so they played 4 non-conference games. Played well, but had a lot of turnover. But their young quarterback has grown up tonight. Blaise Benson is the young man now trying to go win them a football game. Lobo defense being urged on by these fans here at University Stadium. See what they got. Ford's the running back. They run an option look for the first time, and the ball's loose. Ball's on the ground, and New Mexico has it. What a turnover. That is the first time that they ran the option look. I'm trying to see who jumped out of it. It is number 19, Devin Sanders. What a play by Devin Sanders to jump on the football. I'll tell you what, Vic Shealy and Houston Baptist are going to question, what did we do? We haven't done this all night long. Our quarterback got hot. They decide to run an option look to the left side with a right-handed quarterback for the first time tonight, and you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I cannot agree with that call. I mean, option is such a complex play to run, and you have to be in rhythm to be able to run it, and they haven't ran it all night. And so why is this the point in the game that you decide to try to run the option? I mean, scratching my head up here in the booth, partner.
Yeah, Lobos get a big break there, and they haven't let him play yet, and I'm wondering if they're looking at a replay. We've got the DV Sport guy is down on the field with his hand up as the replay officials. So I'm going to tell you what I think they're looking at. And they let it go. It's going to stand. Dante Martin, number 8, looked like as he was trying to dive on the football, I think they were looking to see if he was out of bounds. It's ruled that he was not. So the give is to Dumas. He spins through the hole and gets himself a couple of yards before he is brought to the ground. I think that's what they were looking at, because as I looked at the replay, I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Did that thing go out of bounds?
Right, because I think the thing is you couldn't tell if he was touching the football. Watch here. Watch number 8, Dante Martin here. Right there, is he touching the ball when his knee was out of bounds? And obviously the replay official decided he was not. That's got to be what they were looking at, right?
It has to be.
That's a great job by our crew.
Yeah.
Guys, can we look at it again? Not that it matters, honestly, because we've already played another play, so it's not going to matter. But sometimes when you're a defensive guy, you go to the ball, you get super aggressive, right? Go to the ball, do what you got to do. See what I'm saying right there? But you can't tell. As his knee's out, but you can't tell if he's still touching the football.
Right.
Now, I guess you probably can.
There's just not enough evidence, right, to be able to overturn it. I think that's what we're seeing here. Just not enough evidence to overturn that play.
Yeah, and that's where you had Devin Sanders come in and fall on the football, and really the biggest play of the night for New Mexico was Devin Sanders falling on the football. So Houston Baptist is out of timeouts. Lobos will have a 2nd down and 7. Trying to put a little bit more on the board, or at least hold on to this football. Dumas stays in. He's been the workhorse in the second half. Wilson keeps it. All by himself on the right side. Runs out of bounds. Chased out of bounds there by Coy Miller. Got himself a couple to the 22-yard line. Out of bounds is not, I promise you, is not what they wanted when they called that play.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted Terry to get upfield a little bit more there. But again, this Houston Baptist defense has done a great job keeping him contained. I mean, they had that one long run where he was able to get out of the pocket, but they've done a really nice job keeping this UNM offense on their heels, and they haven't let Terry really hurt them with their legs too much.
Do you dare throw it here? Chad Alexander's the back. They give it to Alexander. He does not get enough. Coy Miller's there again, got himself to the 20-yard line. So you're in field goal range, I would believe. Yes, they are. They run out the field goal unit. I imagine they'll run this thing down. They've got one timeout left. It will be a 37-yard field goal attempt. Andrew Shelley, who is 1 for 1 in field goal attempts, is on for the attempt. Remember, Steinkamp attempted the last field goal the long one. This will be 37 yards. The kick up by Shelley is on the way, and it is true. That is a big, big field goal for the University of New Mexico. So with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go, the Lobos now have a 2-possession lead.
Yeah, and that was a nice drive by UNM. I would like to have seen them chew all this time off the clock, but they're able to get some points. They make this a 2-possession football game, and now they can breathe a bit easier, but there's definitely going to be some questions after this game for sure.
Well, so if you had a question to ask, where would you start?
What happened to the offense in the second half, Coach? Was it Houston Baptist? Were you just not able to get these guys into a rhythm? It looks like from a play calling standpoint, they've also become a bit stale.
Yeah. El Dorado High School's Andrew Shelley. I feel every time there's a local guy like that, his full name becomes former Albuquerque High star George Carter or former El Dorado Eagle Andrew Shelley. But let me make sure I get his full name in there and give the local guys the credit. But,
yes, sir.
But former El Dorado High School star Andrew Shelley with the kick, just like you were a big star at Albuquerque High. All right, so you're breathing a little easier now with 1:38 to go, up by 10?
Breathing a little bit easier, up by 10. Going to be happy to get out of here with the win. But, yes, there's definitely going to be some questions that remain and some things you need to clean up before New Mexico State comes to town.
Not a lot of offense in the second half. Not a lot of offense at all. Lobos dominated the stats at halftime. 18 first downs, still to 13. But really the second half, you're going to go look at it and say what happened. I promise you, Doug Martin and New Mexico State staff will be looking at it, and they probably feel, maybe, it's a copycat league. Now, they got to play San Diego State first on Saturday before they come in here. But I guarantee you in a copycat game, they'll look and see, what did Houston Baptist do?
Yeah, and I think, again, Houston Baptist up front, they have some really big their defensive front is massive, and that has given UNM some struggles tonight just in terms of how stout they are.
Let me ask you this, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Bobby Cole not playing in the second half. Does that? What do you think? Do you think that's a big piece of UNM's stagnation on offense?
It could be, but Bobby was never really able to get loose as well in the first half, and so I would have liked to seen UNM open up the offense a little bit more and try to move the ball down the field, see what Terry's able to do with his arm, give him some confidence, continue to get some of these young receivers reps. But, again, we're in the first game of the season. I think there's a lot of wrinkles in this offense that are going to continue to get rolled out. Benson
complete to Brendan Walker. That's a first down out to about the 35-yard line, 10 yards on that play. So Benson continues to get better. This young quarterback's going to be just fine for them, and probably a little bit better than just fine. He's pressured right now, gets away. He's elusive, he's big, he's physical, and he finds his receiver. I think that hit the ground. That was Thompson, but they're going to call it a completion out to the 48-yard line, 49-yard line. That was all made by that young quarterback, Blaise Benson.
Yeah, he's got some escapability, and we knew coming into this he was going to be able to run around and make some plays with his legs, and as the game has prolonged and progressed, he's been able to do that a bit more effectively.
Throws it out to the right side. That's incomplete. Looking for Jalen Johnson on the outside, but that'll stop the clock at 1:11. Defensively, you satisfied as you get out of here? You gave up. You mentioned that the Houston Baptist scored a lot of points, and you're not wrong. They scored. They put up 547-plus yards a game last year. They scored 50-something points. They had 33.8 points per game. Now, new quarterback, the receivers are gone, new system, so I didn't expect that. As Benson overthrows Thompson out on the right side, he was defended there by Jarek Reed. So I think those numbers have to be put into perspective.
For sure.
This isn't last year's Houston Baptist team. But if you walk out of here and you say we held them to 187 total yards, -9 rushing, and 17 points, You okay with that?
I think you got to be happy with that if you're
Right.
Coach Long and Coach G. From a defense perspective, you've been able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and you didn't give up the big play. That was one of the things that we were worried about with this UNM defense. Yeah,
They did drop one.
They dropped two.
Yeah.
We had the Tavion Combs down here at the end zone as well, but nonetheless, Houston Baptist wasn't able to execute.
3rd down and 10 for the Huskies. Benson drops straight back. He's being pressured. Now he runs to the left and just chucks it up in the air, deep downfield, and it is intercepted by Tavion Combs. Tavion Combs with the interception for New Mexico. Check, please. You can now pay the tab and put this one to bed.
Yes, sir. We needed someone from UNM to step up and make a play. Tavion Combs is able to do that. Really excited to watch this young man mature in this defense and see what he's able to do for this team this year.
Big play by the guy that they love. He's playing that Lobo position, and you could see, like, I give a lot of credit to this young quarterback, but he's pressured, just has to make a play, throws it up. He's got a guy down there, and there's Combs coming up playing that Lobo position and able to go in there, get position, close on it, and make a play for the final and big turnover. The big play by the defense, and you're just talking about how you got to be satisfied and you get to go into victory formation. So Terry will just take it and lean on it. He went the whole way. Victory for Terry Wilson in his first game as Lobo quarterback. Overall, satisfied?
I think you got to be happy with what you saw in the first half, right? Again, there's going to be some things that I think UNM is going to take back to the drawing board, but they have to figure out how to get a bit more rhythm. They just began to kind of die, and they were so inconsistent in the second half. And so how do you sustain that? But that's something you have to teach these young men, right? As they continue to go on, as the season wears on, you have to teach a team how to win. And tonight, UNM was able to get out of here with a W, but again, some things they're going to need to clean and button up.
Well, they could have lost the game. And
True.
they didn't, right? I mean, they had some adversity down the end, and they handled that adversity. I think you look, and Houston Baptist and Vic Shealy's team, I think you got to be proud of what you did. You came in here and played an FBS team well. I promise you got better. Your young quarterback got experience. And for Houston Baptist, I think you feel well. Final score, 27-17. We're going to come back, show you how it happened, and wrap this thing up. Lobos beat Houston Baptist on opening night.